speaking about that, but it's important. Both of them are important. Glad we can get this done. Because last time we discussed this, people kind of veered off subject. So we want to keep this about the subject because I still see a lot of people making different lives and videos, whether that's on TikTok or YouTube or whatever platform, and narratives. And what they are doing is anytime they dislike something coming from a Black American, they'll say, well, that's FBA, and FBA is a group. And that's their way of scapegoating accountability and avoiding accountability by saying that any criticism of the diaspora comes from a group of people, not the lineage, because the lineage doesn't have an issue. It's only this fringe, small, irrelevant, online xenophobic group that people keep saying, right? Which is not the case, all right? And we can't, they're not taking accountability or refusing to take accountability because of that. All right. So I want to have this conversation, and I want the speakers to be a little bit on subject, because last time we had this, the speakers were not on subject, but hopefully the speakers are going to be on subject tonight. All right. For instance, I'm glad we brought this up because we were talking about recently the situation with Tyler, the situation with BET, the situation with a lot of other artists and celebrities and things like that. Black America as a collective, as a lineage, Black America as an ethnicity, when we collectively voice an issue with something, people tend to gaslight that and say it's not significant, it's not a big deal, you all are being ignorant, you all are being xenophobic, and people gaslight it because nobody wants to take accountability or pay any attention to what we have to say. Nobody cares about our opinion. They care about our support, but they don't care about our opinion. They want us to like what they want us to like, but they don't care if they do something we dislike, and they keep showing that they don't care if they do something we dislike. So when we show them the consequences of that by either, like for instance, Tyler not supporting Tyler's music, or not supporting Essence Fest, or not supporting the BET Awards, or whatever the case is, people will say, well, all of that stems from quote unquote xenophobia from FBA because you guys are a group of people who are xenophobic. And no, that's your way of avoiding accountability. So you guys can disrespect a group of people, and you guys can act as opposition against a group of people. And then when that gets called out, you try to lump it into a group calling you out instead of the lineage pushing back against you. All right. So this is to say that some people use FBA, some people use Black American, some people use freedmen, some people use all of these other identifiers. All of these are identifiers to specify one lineage, one lineage. Now, however you choose to identify that lineage, which was formerly African American, is your prerogative. That's your choice or whatever. Now, I think that foundational Black American is clearly the most solid identifier for the lineage. It's the most airtight. It's the one that sounds like it makes the most sense. It's the one that makes the most sense. Okay? And it's the one that's really the most accurate. Okay? Because it establishes the fact that we are foundational to this country, unlike many other identifiers, okay, that bring up maybe slavery, but they don't really establish the fact that we are foundational to the country. So it's the most powerful. It makes the most sense. It's the one that other people can't cling on to. So that's the one that a lot of people are using primarily. But if you, in certain situations and circumstances, use other identifiers, then that's okay too. All right. But that's all I have to say as far as that's concerned. We can get the room started. BX, you can go ahead and set the decorum of the room.
Okay, so when y'all come in and y'all request to come on the panel, immediately go on mute until allowed to speak. When you are allowed to speak and you come off your mic, please lead by your race and ethnic group. And if you're over 18, we don't need an exact age, but please, if you're over 18, also you don't have to use your pronouns, like unless you want to, but it's not required here. So by race and ethnicity, this is what I mean. I'm gonna use myself for an example. My race is black, my ethnic group is African American / Black American, and I culturally identify as a foundational Black American. What that means is that my ancestors were in the United States of America during the emancipation period of 1863 through 1865 and can be found on the United States of America census of 1870, but we're not doing the Americas, guys. We're not. So I understand that not everybody was had ancestors who were enslaved. So we do acknowledge our free people who were here and our American Indians, because I know y'all come on the panel. We get it. We're just talking about the emancipation period and how paperwork proves you were here. And if you can't prove that, then you are considered an immigrant and you are to identify as your country of origin or your parents' country of origin. So let's take Jamaica. If you have two parents that come from Jamaica that migrated here and had you, then you're Jamaican American. That's your lineage. Or you're Haitian American, Nigerian American, Ghanaian American. We respect that. If you are a person that has a bi-ethnic background, meaning you have a foundational Black American parent and a non-FBA parent, we will ask you that parent's country of origin, but you are bi-ethnic and you're welcome to speak. Latinos, Puerto Rican, Mexican, Dominican, Salvadorian, Ecuadorian, Venezuelan. These are not races, their ethnic group. So when we actually have race, if you present as YT, please say YT. We understand mestizo, you could say that. For the Indians who are coming, we understand Taino, Arawak, Carrot, we understand those too. And if you're Afro-Latino, say that and then tell us what country you're from. TikTok friendly language only, please. Do not comment food emojis in the chat or F1. Just continuously by tapping the screen and sharing out the live. You can even add it to your story, guys. And that'll also tell, your followers if you want them to come in here. And also, you see that orange heart by Afro Elite's name? Click that. And so that you can help him get into the algorithm and the rankings. Everybody can speak. Just request up and be respectful. Thank you.
Thank you. If you guys didn't know, we were on another live stream for close to about 4 hours. I didn't even know we were on that long until it went off and they showed me how long we were on. So we were on for a minute. So we're not going to do another 4 hours. All right. Just letting y'all know that we're not going to do another 4 hours. If you guys want to come up and speak on this subject, please come up as soon as you guys can. All right. Don't try to, because what we have is every time I say, okay, well, you know what, we're about to start wrapping things up, then a whole bunch of people, you got like 5-6 people who want to request up and they've been listening for the whole time. Okay? Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay? Because of the fact that I just got off another live, if I'm saying I'm wrapping things up, then I am going to wrap things up. All right? Because I got stuff to do tomorrow, and we are not going to have another 4-hour live with people who want to come in last minute. Can't do it. Can't do it. All right. So y'all know, if y'all want to say something, it's over 100 people in here already. If y'all want to say something, come up. Okay? Because I don't want to hear, let me up, and you've been here for a whole 2 hours. Don't do that. All right. Let's get to Halo. Halo, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? I'm an FBA. Let me stop. No, I actually was on the last live. I was drinking a little bit, I kind of dozed off. That's why I was sleepy. Usually, I would probably dropped off and stuff, but yeah, I was like, but yeah, I'm gonna actually wait to until I get some people up here to speak on something so I can eat off that.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and let Fly T Chef or whatever speak.
Okay. What's that, Fly T or Flight Chef?
Nah, it's Flight Chief.
Flight Chief. Flight Chief. All right.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
What's good, bro? How you doing?
Hey, I got a question.
Are you Are
Okay.
you FBA real quick or no?
Yes, I am.
All right, all right.
My question for you is that what do you think about paying homage to Marcus Garvey? And what do you think about uh, like immigrants, not immigrants, but Americans from other countries, fighting with us, like back in the time with like Stokely Carmichael and stuff like that. So I wanted your thoughts on those.
Okay. Let me answer the first question when it comes to the paying homage to Marcus Garvey. We got to understand, first off, when I say that, you got to look at everybody in their entire history. You got to look at everybody in their entire history, the good and the bad. And one thing that we've done is we've kind of ignored or downplayed the negative parts, and we've just highlighted the good parts, or whatever the case is. And I'm the type of person who's objectively fair. I'm very objectively fair when it comes to that. There was a lot of good that Marcus Garvey did bring to the Pan-African movement and to America, and Marcus Garvey did inspire a lot of people. A lot of people who preceded Marcus Garvey to do great things said that they got inspiration from Marcus Garvey. I'm not going to take that away from Marcus Garvey, okay? I'm not going to take away from the fact that there were people living during the time of Marcus Garvey who were also inspired by not even though he didn't create Pan-Africanism, I'm not going to take that away from him. Okay. I will say that a lot of people are starting to realize that there were a lot of red flags with Marcus Garvey. As far as number one, the red flag that he had a meeting with the Ku Klux Klan. Okay, a lot of people are starting to realize that a lot of people didn't know that. Now, the thing is that this has been a well-known thing, but that's not been a highlighted thing. So a lot of people didn't know that. So now a lot of people are kind of looking back and kind of reevaluating how they viewed Marcus Garvey, because they were originally only seeing the highlights, right? And they didn't know about all of the red flags. So now they learned about the situation with the Ku Klux Klan, which during the time when he had that meeting, which ultimately didn't really do anything, but when he had that meeting, a lot of black people who found out during the time, they called him out on that. So even back during Marcus Garvey's time, Marcus Garvey was called out because black people during that time felt like, okay, why are you talking to the Klan at all? All right. So it was very controversial even then. It's just a lot of people, when they talk about Marcus Garvey, have never talked about that. And now it's a thing where people are starting to talk about that now. And people are looking at it like, okay, well, was he an op? Was he a this? Was he a that? Or whatever the case is. Not to be, and I'm being objectively fair when it comes to the situation, that is a red flag. All right. Even if he was to look at, even if he was to I guess, because when you're at odds with a group of people, you are going to want to, you are like, as a general, you do have to talk to the opposition. Okay. That's just realistically. Okay. Presidents of nations talk to other presidents of nations, especially during times of war. You do have to do that. All right. So a lot of people felt like that is realistic. If you want violence to stop, you do have to talk to the opposition to see if there can be a negotiation made or a truce made. Okay. So realistically, thinking about it from a general's point of view, realistically, I understand that. I do get that. The other part about that is that if you do it behind people's back, people gonna see that as being funny. You understand what I'm saying? If you do it and people find out later, like on the low, that you did that, people gonna kind of question the intentions of that meeting. You know what I'm saying? There was also another thing as far as like the donations and stuff like that he was getting. I'm not 100% sure, but there was some controversy around that as well too. Okay, so I'm saying that you got to take the good with the bad, because a lot of people are starting to realize like, oh damn, okay, Marcus Garvey had, he had some flags on the play, and these are some pretty big flags. Now I will. You have to be objective and mature, and not emotional enough to give credit where credit is due. But you can't just dismiss the flag. Okay, you know what I'm saying. So and I know I'm answering it long, but it's a lot of talk about Marcus Garvey. Okay, so I'm glad actually that you answered that question. When people pay homage, people can pay homage, I feel like, and this is my personal opinion, to the benefit, but let's be objective with that, and let's not make it seem like he was some flawless prophet. That Marcus wasn't. Marcus was not a flawless prophet. Okay.
Right.
As
Yeah.
as far as
Sorry.
the second question, and I know I'm being long, but I really want to give you a good answer to these. As far as the second question of non-FBA, Stokely Carmichael, Dr. Ben, and all these people, Farrakhan even coming here and helping the movement and all that stuff, there's no issue with that. And I don't think any Black Americans, at least myself, we don't have a problem with other people coming in, benefiting the movement that's already existing. Okay. My thing, I'm gonna speak for myself. My thing is when people who want to come onto our ship and then they want to start steering the direction in another way. Okay. If you want to come on and be a crew member and work with the crew and follow the lead of the captain, okay, that's all we've ever wanted. That's all we've ever asked for. But when you want to come in and then you want to start going in different directions and then going against the grain and then touching the wheel and turning the ship, or you start doing anything that undermines the crew that's already been there, that's when we have a problem.
Mm.
You
True,
know?
true, true. I liked a lot of stuff that you said. I definitely agree with. Especially I see not everything is all sweet and roses when it comes to Marcus Garvey and this movement,
Mm.
and I understand that, and I think a lot of people got misconstrued that or misunderstand that when we are delineating, we're not just saying we're not recognizing the 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 strive and the people that was with us to help us, get where we was going. You know what I'm saying? And I think people really don't really understand that. But I'm definitely here with you guys. I'm definitely FBA all day. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I also want to make sure we don't go into a movement where we forget about the melanated people across the world. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
yeah, but definitely home first.
Yeah.
Then we can go later.
Yeah, and this is the thing, which is why I say like B1 all the time, black first all the time, because that needs to be the engine. Okay, black empowerment. And I say this all the time, and I'm glad you brought this up. Black empowerment needs to be the engine behind the ship, okay, or powering the ship. That needs to be the engine, okay, the core of what we do and why we do it. All right. And once we lose, when you lost the engine, everything, it don't matter what else you got. You can have a great big ship with all that stuff, but if the engine ain't there, you don't got no ship worth having. Okay. So the engine to the ship is black empowerment. And we don't have an issue with nobody else who has that same ideology, because you do have other Africans and Caribbeans who have that same ideology in the past and even the present. But we can't, I think right now with the delineation thing, there's two things with it. Number one is that we do have to understand that focus is important, and that we do need to focus on certain things here instead of diverting our issues to everybody else's causes globally. All right. So we need to focus on our lineage in specific. Another thing as well too is that we can no longer just assume that everybody is on this page. We can't assume anybody's allegiance at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, when you go to the American military, They don't just assume everybody in America is loyal to America. Okay, you got to be vetted. Okay, you got to go through some background checks, and they got to check your internet history, and they got to check your family, and they got to check all of this stuff. They don't just assume that, well, if you're from America, you're loyal to America. No, 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 no. We still got to do the paperwork. So what we are realizing is that we've made a mistake, and we've just assumed that everybody in the world, if we're all the same race, so we all have the same allegiance. And we've learned the hard way, like, okay, well, clearly that ain't been the case, because your allegiance is to something else than black empowerment. And we can't sit up there and fight on the same team if our allegiance is to black empowerment and your allegiance is to being an immigrant, or your allegiance is to your own nation. Okay,
Right.
your allegiance
And I
is to
think
your
that's
immigrant.
very important too. Yeah, man. I thank you a lot, man.
No, thank you.
Lee, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because when this topic of conversation comes up, they always go to our great biethnic, Malcolm X. Can you explain? Because his mother was a tether. So can you explain to them that tether is an action and that he was basically raised by his full FBA family? Nor did he I claim the island of Grenada. So
Yeah.
we got to cut it out, guys.
Thank you. I've never heard of anybody referring to Malcolm X's mother as a tether. She didn't, from what I know, she didn't do anything that would make her a tether. You know what I'm saying? I haven't heard anybody even speaking disparagingly about Malcolm X's mother, but we do have to tell the truth. We got to tell the truth. Now, according to Malcolm X, his mother was taken from him, okay, at a young age. So Malcolm X was raised by his sister, in Detroit, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, which is why he got the name Detroit Red. Now, originally he was from Nevada. Okay. So he was raised by foundational black Americans. He was not raised by his Grenadian mother or her side of the family. Okay, it would be different if her family, her uncle and brothers and all that stuff, he did not really have a connection to his Grenadian side of the family. We're not going to dismiss or disrespect his mother. But the truth of the matter is Malcolm already said this. People are arguing over things that Malcolm made clear. This is not no up for interpretation or up for debate conversation. Malcolm made his upbringing abundantly clear. I don't know if you guys have read his autobiography, but it's already been clear. Malcolm articulated how he felt he grew up, the struggles of him growing up, the struggles of him losing his mother at a young age. Malcolm has already made this known. Okay, he's made it known that it's not like he was raised by his Grenadian side of the family. Okay, so who he was as a person didn't come from the Grenadian culture. It didn't, according to Malcolm. Like, y'all arguing on behalf of things he's already made clear, which shows desperation. It shows desperation. He's made this clear already. All right. It was foundational black Americans. And it was really, if we're going to be honest, it was really Elijah Muhammad, to be honest. Okay. Because even though in his core he had like activism in him, that didn't really materialize until he joined the nation.
Dad was a pastor and an activist, right? Was
Yeah,
unalived under
he's always
suspicious
had that from
conditions.
his FBA father. So it was always like in his spirit, but that didn't really materialize until after he joined the nation. Even though his spirit always had that because of his foundational black American father. Malcolm already made this clear. This is already well-known facts. Y'all making it seem like this is up for interpretation or somebody's interpretation of his life. Malcolm explained what his life was like. So there's nothing to argue. Because unless you're going to say he was wrong and you know his life better than he did, there's nothing to argue. It was foundational black Americans. Okay, it was foundational black Americans that even after he passed away, that kept bringing Malcolm up and making Malcolm relevant. So much so to the point because the media always shamed Malcolm and said he was radical, said he was racist, said he was hateful, said all of these things. It was the fact that foundational Black Americans kept highlighting him, okay, and highlighting the things that he taught and making his name relevant and prevalent in the conversation of Black empowerment. Shout out to Denzel Washington when he played Malcolm X in that movie. Shout out to Spike Lee, to foundational Black Americans who highlighted Malcolm X and Malcolm X's life. And it was us and our culture that brought his name up to the prominence that it is now. Now everybody has glorious things to say about Malcolm, but that was not originally the case. Okay, especially not during his lifetime. But we did that. Not only is he from FBA culture, FBA culture has taken his livelihood and made it into the legacy against the wishes of the dominant society.
Right. You know what I remember, Afro, like in 2015, there used to be a meme. It used to be MLK and Malcolm, right? And they said one chose nonviolence and one chose, violence. And I would go around saying he did not choose violence. He chose self-defense. When was he violent? And even sometimes our people, we get it twisted, but they don't even know about the deacons of defense who battled the Klan and was protecting MLK, who was nonviolent. So even nonviolent people needed people with arms. I'm not gonna call them violent. We were about self-defense, and that's what y'all witnessing now. We are reacting to the disrespect, just like those who carry arms back in the day were protecting those who were speaking out against our conditions. Y'all got to get it together. Y'all really got to take a class from us. I don't know what they teaching y'all in them schools.
I'm gonna say, like, I know a lot of y'all say he practiced Pan-Africanism, but last I checked, from what I heard, he asked the Africans and for a helping hand, and they declined it. So
When people say that, the thing is that back during Malcolm's time, there wasn't really pro-Black was Pan-Africanism. So there wasn't really another thing besides Pan-Africanism at that time. But if you actually look at the receipts of what Malcolm X preached and what Malcolm X taught, it wasn't really the Pan-Africanism that you guys keep trying to make it out to be, where all Black people are all the same. Malcolm never said that. Malcolm never said that. Even when he was in the nation, Malcolm made it abundantly clear that every Black person in the world, even though he advocated for Black people around the world, Malcolm never said that every Black person in the world was the same. And that's not what the nation was preaching. That's not what Malcolm was preaching when he was in the nation, or even when he wasn't in the nation. He never made it out to be that way. Y'all keep making it out to be like we should just all be quote unquote African people. No, that's not what it was. And that's not ever what Malcolm did. Malcolm also advocated specifically for our lineage here, saying that we have a different fight here. Okay. Malcolm never tried to make this ambiguous thing where, the Black struggle is just blindly universal and everybody is everybody. He's never done that. That's what you guys are trying to do now. Now, yeah, he advocated for geopolitics and he advocated for Africa and all of that stuff. Yeah, we know that. We do know that. But y'all keep making it seem like he wanted everybody to be recognized as the same. He did not. He literally did not. He actually fought against people saying that and doing that. He made it, he deliberately made specifications that actually we have a different history and we are not all the same. Okay?
He didn't think the Puerto Ricans and Africans should get reparations with us. And when he was speaking to James Farmer, and we could go back to the prom. I'm sorry, I just get upset when they be like, "Oh, his mother and she was a y'all didn't care what his mother was years ago until our demand for reparations came about. Now everybody trying to latch on. They got the Gullah Geechee with a Bohemian flag, and I'm hearing Gullah Geechees tell me I don't know what they talking about. BX, y'all gotta stop it, y'all. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Afro.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And y'all bringing it. It's such a desperate point. And now, and what I'm starting to see is they keep referring to Malcolm And they be all like, yeah, people of Caribbean descent. They keep saying he's of Caribbean descent, and they keep almost framing Malcolm as if he came from Grenada. And that's not the case. Malcolm never claimed that.
Was
And
his
it's
mother
so
mother
disrespectful because he literally told us how he was raised in his upbringing. He never claimed that. All right. And y'all are like almost forcing that on him so y'all can get some points on the board that you don't have.
wasn't he raised by his father, not his mother? His mother was institutionalized and she was on hard drugs.
Well,
Um,
his father was unalived by the Triple K very early in his life. So he wasn't raised by any of his parents. He was raised by, I think, his older
his
sister
sister, right?
or I think it was his older sister, right? Because he was the youngest, if I'm not mistaken. He was the youngest of all his siblings.
And his sister was FBA.
Yeah,
So what are they talking about? He was raised up in Black American culture.
yeah.
Like they forget, they think they'll sit there and say because you're half or multi ethnicity, they'll sit there and let their part take over the whole race. Like
Yeah.
no, the ethnicity. I mean that don't no. You forgetting that he was FBA? You forgot that?
Yeah, just so they can push this thing of, oh no, we've been doing stuff the whole time. No, no, okay, that's not it. And Malcolm had his criticisms of Africa and how they were getting down too, but y'all don't want us to say that.
Can
Malcolm
I,
didn't say that Africa was perfect. He did not. He had his criticisms of there when he went there. Yeah, he did. Okay.
can I make
He
some
went to try
comments?
to create an olive branch, and they told him pretty much no.
Can I make some comments if you guys don't mind,
Hold
please?
on, just real quick. We're gonna get to a couple of hands. We've been kind of having a back and forth as the room's been building up, but let's get to Valley because Valley's been next in line.
This is your brother.
Yeah.
Can you actually kind of explain the prompt? Because I was actually tuned in and listening to you, and I had the opportunity to read it and got my own understanding, but I'm not necessarily
Okay,
understanding what
well, the
you're
thing
asking.
is that FBA is a lineage. Okay, Foundational Black American is a lineage. All right,
Okay.
but people keep saying that it's some type of group or organization, and there's like leaders and there's commanders and generals and all of this stuff. People say that stuff about FBA because people don't want to be held accountable when we say you're disrespecting or undermining FBA. They say, oh, no, we're not. Black Americans are fine. It's just the FBAs because y'all are a group. Black Americans don't quote unquote claim you guys. That's what they try to say to avoid accountability.
Okay. From my understanding, foundational Black Americans is anybody that is a descendant of transatlantic slave to transatlantic slave trade.
No, well, because the thing is, the transatlantic slave trade happened in the Caribbean as well too. So we're just talking
I'm
about the
speaking far as like initially in here in the USA. That's what I'm speaking of, not in the Caribbean.
yeah, yeah, well, yeah, the descendants of slave. Yeah, because the thing is that there were also slaves here prior to the transatlantic slave trade. What something that we're now discovering. So anyone who is a descendant of U.S. chattel slavery.
Okay, I mean, yeah, to me, it's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, same thing.
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm in agreement to that. I mean, I don't, yeah, I do agree with that, but my thing is that when you understand lineage, don't the lineage originally would trace the FBA back to Africa? If we're speaking
No,
lineage wise,
no, well, no, not necessarily.
That's like saying they would trace us back to Europe.
No, no, not necessarily.
no.
Because and why not is because we had an ethnogenesis. We had an ethnogenesis, so we're a different ethnicity. You know, when people go to a new land and they develop a new land and a new custom and a new culture and a new country, that begins the new people.
Right. The reason why I'm saying that is because some of those things that you're referring to, as far as custom and culture wise, are still rooted now. That's almost like saying, um, like
Please, can I get in next?
hold
Basically,
on. I'm gonna let you go next, but yeah,
hold on. He's going.
that's
That's
like
almost
saying,
like saying like I don't even know how to say it. Like saying like Latin music or greens or it's certain things or even footworking. You know, if you're familiar with that in Chicago, those are all kind of like African based things.
My man, you're making a lot
not
of sense.
necessarily. I
You're
mean,
making a lot of sense.
there are things that are
You know,
here, but I mean to say everything, and a lot of people try to
you know,
give
And how is footwork
stolen
in
valor.
Africa?
That's
A
a
lot of
lot.
people.
People
Hold on,
footwork in
everybody.
all
Everybody
cultures,
can't
not
talk
just
at the, and they
African.
can't hear. Everybody can say something at the same time. Um, there's a lot of, let's be honest, stolen valor that gives credit to Africa. Africa can pretty much do any dance at all, and then next thing you know, every single FBA dance stems from Africa or it originates from Africa. That's something that I mean has been going on for the longest time. Any and all dances, they be all like, "Hold on, well, they were dancing in Africa before, so technically, you guys got that from Africa." No, what we have is distinct and different. Okay,
And it was footworking
no,
all over the world.
yeah, there was people
We
dancing
didn't get
everywhere in
grains
the
from
world you can
Africa.
go. There was footwork all over the world. You know what I'm saying? So, we can't really do too much with that.
And we didn't get grains from Africa because y'all ain't never got collars in Africa.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different recipes and customs and music
And the
and
So
different
Indians.
things.
cut that out.
And the Indians was doing
What?
You
footwork
make that
too.
statement
But
again, Detroit. I ain't hear you. My bad for cutting you off, sister. I'm sorry.
I said all of that stuff is found in other places, not just Africa.
Can I ask a question,
Footwork and greens.
Afro?
Go ahead.
So Afro, so here's the thing, right? Here's the issue. We know that. Well, I didn't. Well, I wasn't raised around Africans. I wasn't.
Hmm.
I socialized with Caribbeans, Latinos, and other Black Americans, right?
Hmm.
So we've been on this land doing our own thing, and we primarily were mixed in with some poor white tea people and the indigenous.
Hmm.
Right? So I don't understand why they say everything comes from Africa. These other cultures didn't influence us. We ain't put our own mix on it. Why we the most magical out of everybody on this land? Like I just don't. A lot of stuff that they're trying to do doesn't make any sense. Was there some retention? I'ma give them that. But the whole culture coming from Africa, it don't make sense. And then when they get mad at us, they be like, "Oh well, you're mixed anyway." Just because we
Okay.
have
Oh
some
my
Europeans
goodness.
being
Listen.
married.
So,
Listen. Hello.
so
hold on, everybody.
Hello.
I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you. But yeah,
Jesus.
you're right. Yeah, everybody. You're correct. You know, there were things that
Right.
I mean, I don't think anybody's denying the fact that there was a slave trade at all. At least not me, not most. We're not denying that. And there were probably some things that survived the transatlantic slave trade and slavery and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Some traits that survived that, but it's a thing where every single thing that we do, as far as music, dance, food, culture, any and everything we do, they say, "Well, that came from Africa. Africa did it first." Okay, well, come on, y'all, and then y'all just reach for almost everything as if nobody in the world was doing anything before Africa. Like, we're just not gonna do that. And then there are different versions of different, there's so many different versions of things you can almost not say they're the same thing. Okay, so we're not gonna do that because that's a way to almost dismiss our uniqueness here and try to give stolen valor to the continent, and we don't got to do that.
sir,
They're trying to steal relevance from us.
so
Okay, hold on, let's get to J.A. Hustle.
Thank you. I just can't believe what I'm hearing. Like,
Ethnic group before you
what
get
do
to
you think my
insulting
ethnic group
people.
is? My African
I don't know.
ancestral American. All right.
There's no such thing.
It is a such
What are
thing.
you,
I can
sir?
say
Are
what
you
I
Black
want to say. You know
American?
how to be quiet. I'm talking now.
I know how to.
Okay, hold on,
I know how to
we're not
mute
doing
you.
that. We're not doing that. Okay, you're a
well,
Black American. Okay, you can just say that. There's no need to be offended.
go ahead and make your point, sir. If you
Yeah,
don't
go
mind.
ahead, unmute yourself. Are you a Black American? You can easily just say that, like most of us here. If you don't unmute yourself, we're gonna skip you. Okay, going once. Okay, going twice. All right. DJ Uski.
Joski. Yeah.
Doski. Okay.
So good evening, guys and ma'am. So there's so much on the table to
When you
discuss.
talk to people that don't know nothing, you sound smart.
Okay.
Oh, Jay Hustle, you're back. What happened? What happened, dude?
His brain that long to think of a response, and it came off very ignorant.
No,
I
no,
asked
no.
you for your
Somebody muted
ethnic
my
group.
mic.
Okay, hold on. No,
This chick can't shut up. That well, you
let's
see
let
the
him go.
problem.
Well, okay,
You're
go
the
ahead. What
elder
do you have to
everybody
say? What do you have?
dislikes.
Muted my
Yes, let him
mic. They keep
let him go.
muting. They
We're gonna
keep
let you
muting my
go.
mic.
We're
That's
gonna
why.
let you go. Go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
I sat in silence for the longest and didn't say nothing. That shows the lack of discipline for others that you can't be quiet while somebody else talking. I sat quiet for the longest, said not a word. Right?
And then
That
couldn't follow
Even
requires
though,
simple
hold on,
discipline.
directions.
let him go. Even
Right?
though she specified what the
Right? No,
rules
no, she
were
don't need to
before.
specify anything but being quiet like I did.
No,
That just
no.
shows she
She's
If
a
can't
I'm
mod.
shut up.
no,
Listen,
no, you don't
chauvinist.
That
understand
shows
what.
that lack of
Listen,
discipline.
no, you don't understand the lack of discipline or common sense, dude. She is a mod, the top mod here, and she put rules down in my space that I'm hosting. Okay. And if she says something, then every other speaker needs to follow that. Talk about lack of discipline. You're the only person who's displaying a lack of discipline with your old ass age. I can tell you an old nigga. Now go ahead.
It doesn't come off a teacup
If
in
you
like
don't come off,
5 seconds. Drop him
you got
because he's
three
likely
seconds.
reporting.
You got because I want to hear with all the wolfing you doing. I want to hear what you got to say. You got 3 seconds to come off your mic, and you left, you old ass nigga. Go to bed. All right, let's get to the let's get to the next. You.
I'm next.
All right.
I'm next. So good evening,
All
people.
right.
So there's so much to discuss. So I'm gonna start out by saying that I understand where you all are coming from. Okay. I
One moment.
I do
Ethnic group first. Ethnic group first, sir. That's all.
ethnic
Ethnic group
group
first.
ethnic group is I was raised in America, born in Nigeria,
Okay.
came here when I was 12 years old. I'm now 50 years old. So I've spent the vast majority of my life here, United States. Okay, so I love my black people. My brothers and sisters were all born here. I got 3 siblings. They're all black Americans. So my point is, I do support. I understand everything you all are saying. I'm for pro-black business movement, pro-black being able to do our own things and things like that. That makes a lot of sense from where you're coming from. I'm with that. Okay. I want to make that point clear. Also, I want to make a point clear saying that we cannot generalize all African as being disrespectful to Black Americans. I'm opposed to that. Okay, and I will be the first to apologize to you all if you've been in that situation. I apologize. I don't tolerate it. It's not tolerable. I think on both sides there should be a respect. That's second. Third of all is so you all are claiming that there were black slaves here before the transatlantic slave trade. I don't know if that's true or not. It may be true. Okay. So if there is, you're also saying that is a very small percentage. So that means that the larger percentage were from trans African trade movement. So we'll say 20 to 80%. So
No,
the
no, no.
gentleman that
That's
was making
reversed. That's reversed. We're saying
oh
a
okay.
small amount of Africans came to the United States, but the largest
Oh,
part
okay.
went into Brazil. That's what we're
Okay.
saying. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to get where you stand. So you're saying that it's more of an 82. So you're saying that there were more here before the transatlantic slave trade, what you're saying, right? Right. Right?
What the argument is that most of the people in the North American, the United
Right.
States transatlantic slave trade, what we're finding out after the history has been exposed, have already been here. The transatlantic slave trade only bought, arguably at best, 5% of
Okay.
all of the slaves that they shipped from Africa. At the best, at the most, they only bought about 5% to America. Europeans have already
If
said
I
this. Most of them
Okay.
went to South America.
I got it. I
Okay,
got it. I'm just trying to
so
get your
yeah.
point. So So now my question is, if there were hypothetically 80% of already slave here before the one that was brought from Africa, so where does the one that was already here, the 80%, where did it come from?
They're from here. What do you mean?
Okay, the one that were already here, the black people that were already in America before the transatlantic slave trade, how did they get here?
Migrated.
On their own?
I mean, yeah, that's they. I mean, how did black people get anywhere? That's, I mean, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
no. You okay? So I don't want to get into argument mode. If there were black people here already, and we all know that black people, I don't. It doesn't matter where you're from around the world, come from Africa. That's not we can't deny that. So if they're already here, even if they came via slave trade, if they came on their own, either way you go, they came from Africa.
Well, the people who make that argument tend to use
It's
hold
not
on, hold on,
argument.
brother. Let
It's
me
just
answer
facts.
the question. Let me answer the question. The people who tend to use that argument tend to use the out of Africa theory that life started from Africa. Okay,
I didn't say that though.
hold on.
I didn't say
No,
that.
okay, you didn't say that, but let me answer the question. All right, and that every black person comes from Africa, and everybody in the world really comes from Africa, and there was migrations outside of really the land that would be Africa. Okay, that's what a lot of people who believe in the out of Africa theory believe. Okay, let's be honest with that theory. Okay, even if we go with that, everybody in the world comes from Africa with that theory. Okay,
I didn't say
if
that.
that no, you didn't have to say
Just black people, sir.
no, because with that same theory, Asians also come from Africa. Okay, and there's actual evidence of that. Europeans also come from Africa. There are many different theories about how people get places, but if you were to say that every single black person has to come from Africa, then you would also have to make the argument that every single person comes from Africa. But you don't want to claim every single person. You only want to claim the black people, and it's just not gonna. That
Okay,
logic is
okay,
inconsistent.
okay. Let's go with your theory. Let's say that every single person, everybody comes from Africa. So
No,
everybody
no,
comes from
I
Africa.
haven't explained my theory. I haven't explained my theory.
Okay,
I'm
go
saying
ahead.
that that's the out of Africa theory that we see a lot of people use to say, well, you guys, once upon a time, doesn't matter when, you guys came from Africa. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying if we use that logic, we can say once upon a time Asians were in Africa, so they're African. Once upon a time, the people who are European were in Africa. Okay, the Caucasians were in Africa once upon a time. Once upon a time, any and everybody has ancestors in Africa. If we go with that theory,
That's a fact, though.
so that's the thing. So when I say that, we're saying that to say you guys don't recognize, you guys will recognize differences with everybody else, and you guys will respect the nationalities and the ethnicities of everybody else. But it is only when it comes to black Americans do you guys try to dismiss that and say, well, it don't matter because somewhere in the past, at some point in time, you guys were in Africa, so that's where you belong. And y'all don't do that to anybody else.
Can I say
No,
something? Can I say
I,
something?
so,
Hold
so,
on. I want you to
so,
respond to that.
yeah. So very good, very good. So with that logic, so let me ask you. I don't know if you have ever did the ancestry thing. So if they check your DNA personally, sir,
Mm-hmm.
and if it turns out that a large percentage of your DNA comes directly from Africa, if you could trace your DNA to a particular place in Africa, which a lot of people have done that, okay, would you then say, you know what? Okay, I'm 40% Ghanaian, so okay, I
No
am
sense.
African American. It makes a lot of sense.
Oh, hold on.
Because
You know why it
if
doesn't?
okay, if I take your DNA and the Asian person's DNA, okay, the
Oh
Asian
God.
person's DNA says that
Mm-hmm.
he's 60%
Mm-hmm.
Ethiopian, and your DNA say you 40% or 50% Senegal. That make both of you all
No, it
that
doesn't.
makes it
Let me ask.
that your
Let me
ancestor is
Look,
from
let
Africa.
you guys
You cannot
know.
deny that.
Hold on, hold
No,
on,
But
hold on,
if
hold
your
on, sir.
DNA say
Hold
zero
on.
African,
1 minute,
then
y'all.
you're right.
Afroly,
can I
Relax.
say something,
Afroly,
Then you're
guys?
have
right.
you? No,
Everybody
no, no,
relax.
no,
Relax.
no.
Relax. Relax.
Afroly,
Can
have
I
you
say
ever
something?
taken that test? No, not right now. I'm trying to gain some understanding here because I want to tell this man why it don't make no sense.
Okay, you tell me,
Afroly,
man.
have you ever taken that test?
Yes, I have. Oh,
A
I don't
DNA?
have to. I was no, no.
Not
I was.
you,
Yo,
not you.
dude,
I'm talking to the
relax,
Oh,
man.
whole.
I'm sorry. I'm
Relax.
sorry, man. I'm sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, because I'm not against the DNA test, but it's not 100% accurate. And I'm gonna tell you why. As somebody who took the big three in 2014, right? So the big three is ancestry.com, 23andMe, which is in trouble now, and Family Tree DNA. Your percentages change. Your haplogroup, my haplogroup, doesn't even come from West Africa, right? And then I'm an amalgamated ethnic group because I'm not a full African. So I do say that I'm of African descent with indigenous, European, and some Southeast Asian, sir. There's no one quick fix. We're not all African. We've been displaced from that continent the moment other tribes captured our ancestors and traded them to the Europeans. So now here y'all come 500 years later telling us to take a test that has flaws.
Mm-hmm.
And I've taken those tests. All my ancestors for the last, I can go back to the 1750s, right? And all my ancestors are either mulatto, Negro, or black. There are no Africans on there, right? There's no African names. And when I find pictures of my ancestors, they don't look African. They look mulatto. Halo,
I
I don't
got
mean
you.
to point you out, but my ancestor, my second great grandmother, looks like Halo.
I got
You
you.
know,
No,
same
don't
complexion and
disagree.
stuff.
Afro Elite
So
over there, light skin too.
Okay. Okay. No, listen.
Yeah.
Listen. Listen.
So
Listen.
I
here's
want to
the
say
thing. Wait, I'm
something.
a
But
land. I'm
no,
a land.
dude,
Wait, sir.
wait,
I'm a land.
man.
So this is the thing. Our every update, my percentage changed. I went around here happy about having Benin ancestry, and next thing I know, there was some Nigerian on there. The stuff changes, but what doesn't change are the people that I match to. And on the DNA test, they have living relatives. I'm matching to Europeans. I'm matching to Black Americans. I'm even matching to some people in the Caribbean. But guess what? I ain't matching to no Africans. So
I
y'all
got
gotta cut that out.
okay,
Y'all gotta cut that out.
so man, listen, much respect to you. Okay. I believe what you're saying, and if that's the case, if you feel that none of your trades is from Africa, or whatever the case may be, that is fine. Nobody's really nobody, it doesn't really matter that much. I mean, whatever you believe, I respect it. I'm sure folks that I respect it will should respect whatever you believe. Same for you
Right.
too, sir. So the point is, if you all don't want to claim Africa, it's fine. Africa is going to be fine. America is going to be fine. It's fine. But what we need to do is to respect each other. There should be no disrespect from either side because, okay, an Asian person, for example, we threw them out there. Okay, so they don't claim Africa, but they don't go around saying, "Well, I hate that African people." They ain't going around saying that. They may think it, but they ain't saying it.
Actually,
So,
yeah, they do.
but
But okay.
but
Hey, Afro Elite, can I
my
ask him a
point is,
question?
we can live in peace, man. If y'all don't want to be African, that's fine.
Can I
Okay,
ask you
I
a question?
support Black American
Go
business.
ahead. Go ahead.
I'm with
Hold
it.
on.
I wish
Hold
to
on. Hold
every
on.
corner,
Relax.
every street that
Relax,
we can
bro.
have our own stuff. But we
Sir.
should not be disrespecting one another.
Sir.
Period.
Okay. Relax, because I actually want to add to something that you said, and then I'm gonna let Halo ask a question. You said something about we don't generalize. We heard that argument a few years
We
ago, and
shouldn't get on.
we still hear that argument a lot of times when we talk about the police. When we talk about the police abusing black people, unaliving black people, and everything, people say, well, hold on, not all police are like that. There are a few bad apples, and they really try to belittle the few. They try to make the number seem a lot smaller than it is. But let's say it is. There might just be a quote unquote handful of bad apples in the barrel. But the thing is that if those bad apples are not addressed and then picked out and then taken out of the barrel, what then happens to the barrel? And every time we try to address the bad apples in the group, you guys tell us, oh, we can't generalize. Can't we leave it alone? Can't we ignore it? Can't we focus on something else? It's not that big of a deal. And we've dealt with the same tactics of avoiding accountability that they do with the police. When we say, hey, the police need to be held accountable, well, not there's a lot of good police. Okay, well, let's talk about the bad police. Oh no, they're so small, it's not even that big of a deal. And when we talk about problematic people from the diaspora, there's the same talking points get brought up. Oh well, I mean, it's so small, can't we just ignore it, and can't we just leave it alone, and can't we just move past it and all of that
We,
stuff?
we,
We
we
just,
can't just ignore
and
it.
the
You're
thing
right.
is that
You're
no,
right.
it doesn't matter how small a problematic group of people is.
It's got to
If
be
they,
addressed. I'm with
yes,
you.
if they go unaddressed, the problem is only going to get worse. It's not going to fade away. Just like the
You are right.
situation with the
You're
police,
right.
it doesn't fade away if it gets ignored. So the situation
Absolutely.
with us in the diaspora is not going to fade away if we ignore it.
If it's you're right, and
Okay.
I will address you with you. Okay, I will address with you. You're right,
Okay.
100%. It
Okay.
should not be tolerable. It should not be accepted for any African to disrespect Black
Okay. Hold
Americans.
on, but real
Because,
quick, because we
yes,
still got some
it
other
shouldn't be.
people.
You're right.
Hold on.
I
Can I
agree with
ask
you.
him a question?
Let's let Halo ask a question.
Okay, so do you think? Okay, so do you think our culture is your culture or something like?
Very good question. Good question. So I have the I've been lucky to be able to see both culture, to be honest with you. Okay. And any African person that make a comment or statement that Black America don't have a culture, they are wrong. They are sadly wrong, and they've been very disrespectful, and they are very confused because Black America have great culture. Black American culture amplify the whole world. Every corner of the globe is taken away from Black American culture. Is trying to get a piece of it. The white folks are. Everybody is. So,
Okay,
so if you
But
so
really not.
let me tell, ma'am, if somebody is saying something stupid to you, sometimes you gotta ignore it. I mean, if anybody said Black America don't have a
Halo, can
culture,
you repeat the
that makes
question?
no
I don't
sense.
think you really understood
That
the
makes no
question.
sense.
oh,
I
okay,
mean,
but
we
listen,
all know
listen to
that
this.
ain't true.
Listen to this, because I'm saying this because a lot of y'all be like, for I find it very strange. I ain't even trying to be funny. I promise y'all, I ain't trying to be funny. Like we'll see something, we'll pull up something about your culture, and it shows a man putting his head up a cow, right? And then y'all will say, that ain't my culture. That's a different tribe and such and such. But when we say something about our culture and you'll hurry up and quickly and try to claim that, which I find it very funny that you will disown the people on your own land and swim across seas just to claim our culture and claim who we are. You don't claim the people on your land, but you want to come over and claim us. I'm confused with
They
that.
want to claim your culture and then say you ain't got a culture. That makes no sense. So you're right. So now let me tell you, okay, there's a lot of tribes in Africa. Okay, I can't speak for all of them. I can only speak for Nigerian tribes. There's three of them. And I left when I was 12 years old. I still got relatives out there. And so I was able to see different cultures
I'm gonna ask you to
in
land because I
Nigeria.
want to get to some of the other speakers real quick.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So they are very great cultures out there that a lot of us don't know about because the white, whatever you guys call them, the Caucasian does not. They don't show here in America the true stuff that goes on out there. Just as they don't show the people in Africa the true stuff that goes, the good
Okay,
side
but
of
yeah,
America.
thank. But that's
So
a little off subject, and we don't want to
yeah,
divert too much
what
off
is true
subject,
though?
and we want to
It
get
is
to
true.
other speakers as well too.
Well, thank you guys.
Oh, thank you,
Thank you
thank
for
you,
letting me speak. I appreciate it.
thank you. All right, let's get to HK. HK, you can unmute yourself.
Yes. I'm HK. I'm from Liberia, by the way.
Okay.
And I just want to touch on the whole African thing. Africa is a whole continent.
Yep.
Africa, the size of Africa is even like almost 3 times the size of the United States.
Mm,
And Africa is very diverse. So,
okay.
and being called African, we didn't give ourselves that name. It was given by the same people like running everything in this day.
Okay.
So, as an African, I'm from Liberia. I look at myself first by my ethnic group.
Okay.
Everybody are different. Our different ethnic group. Some ethnic groups have very diverse culture. Some people do things differently from other people, but we all get the same skin color, so we are all just considered African. In Africa, it's more difficult to travel in Africa from one country to another country than it is to travel from one state here to another state, or to leave from America to go to Mexico.
Okay.
So it's not like we are just one group of people, but with all of that, we still identify as one. So just as African Americans in America is in another country with different culture, we still consider them as black people. If you
Okay.
go South
Okay.
America, you got Jamaica, you got Haiti, you got all these places. Those are all black people from different countries and different culture.
Okay. Well,
But at the end
okay.
of the
Here's
day,
the thing.
it's
This.
just so I want to explain why we identify with y'all. It's just that it's not like we come in to take your culture. At the end of the day,
No. Here's the thing, and then
yeah,
I'm gonna ask you about the prompt because this is kind of relevant to the prompt. The thing
yeah,
is that you acknowledge because you are from Liberia and you have Liberian flags in your
yeah,
name, right?
yeah.
Okay, so you acknowledge the fact that you're from Liberia and you're not from South Africa. You acknowledge you're not from um, Kenya. You're not from Nigeria. You're not from these other countries. You're from Liberia. So you acknowledge your ethnicity and your culture and your nationhood of being from Liberia, your country of origin being from Liberia. All right.
Yes.
And if I was to come and tell you, well, Liberians and Kenyans, it really doesn't matter. They're pretty much the same. You would say, no, Liberians and Kenyans are not the same. We're different.
I would tell you there's a lot of similarities and
There
there's a lot
might
of
be a lot of
some
similarities,
differences.
but if I said
So
Liberians and Kenyans, there's no difference. You would say that there's a difference, right?
there's a difference, but there's more similarity
Okay,
than
but
difference.
no. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of similarities with us and
And
everywhere else
as
in
a
the world.
positive person, I
But
want to focus on the
listen,
similarities
stop.
because if you
Okay,
focus on similarity
stop. Don't do that.
on the
Don't do
like
that. 'Cause
minded,
stop it. Stop.
are
Don't do
you?
it. Don't do that.
So you
Listen,
don't
let
want
me
me to
make
give
my
my view?
stop it, dude. Let my make my point. The fact that you're not trying to let me make my point further proves my point. Okay? Because you could talk about their similarities. Yeah, there's similarities probably with Liberians and Japanese people. There's similarities with
There's
Liberians
less
and also
similarity with
Europeans.
Liberians and
There are
Japanese as
similarities. If
compared
you don't
to
stop
Liberians
it,
and Kenyan.
okay,
Liberian and Kenyan got less similarity than Liberian and Japanese.
okay, fine. Let's not use Kenya. Let's use Morocco or Ethiopia. Their culture is distinct and their culture is different from Liberia. All right. If I
Yep.
was to say Morocco, since you acting like you can't comprehend what I was saying, so if I was to
No,
say
you gotta be
Liberia,
respectful. You be
no,
respectful.
no, you're interrupting the host, so you're
No,
not being
it's
respectful.
not about hosts.
No, yeah, it is about
Just
host because this is the
give your
live I
respect, man.
host. Okay, we're not peers here. Let me inform you.
We,
All right.
there's no hierarchy here. We just own the live
There's a
talking.
hierarchy, and I'm on top of it. And now you're not speaking anymore. How about that? Yep, there is a hierarchy here. All of these people talking about, man, you're being disrespectful. I can be that if I want to be that. What y'all gonna do?
You have
If I
yet to
want to be
raise your voice,
disrespectful, I can be
so
disrespectful, and I'm not being disrespectful. I let him speak, and as I was speaking, he kept cutting me off.
I have some comments. I'm just letting you
Okay.
do your thing,
What
brother.
what I was saying. Oh, the host is no, because you knew where I was going with the fact that you understand that there is a difference, but only when it comes to us do you act like, oh no, we're all black. No, we're not, because in Africa you guys don't treat each other like that. I I know, because in Liberia you guys don't even treat the different tribes in Liberia like you guys are all the same. Y'all act like I don't. I know about the get down in Liberia and the division between the different tribes going on in Liberia today. Y'all, if you guys don't know, we know this, but we know this. There's different tribal beefs going on, spanning from generations in the past, going back hundreds of years in the past in Liberia. So y'all come here on this kumbaya, everything is everything, and everybody gets along, and we're all African and we're all the same. No, you guys understand differences. You guys comprehend that. Okay, you understand that you're not Kenyan, you understand that you're not Moroccan, you understand that you're not Nigerian. Okay, but then when we say, okay, well, we're going to have the same ethnic difference, and and that should be respected like you guys has always been respected, y'all try to pull this "ain't we all from Africa" thing only when it comes to us, and in Africa y'all don't even practice that type of behavior and mentality. Y'all don't do that in Africa, but y'all want us to dismiss our difference under the guise of we're all the same, and y'all don't do that there. And as I was articulating that, that's why he kept cutting me off. Talk about be respectful. No, no, dude, because you coming off the mic as I'm speaking after I let you speak, and you babbled after I let you speak. You're being disrespectful.
You say babbled before, Afro. Yeah, I'm glad we're going back to the prompt. Let's keep in mind that we're addressing the fact that FBA isn't a group or an organization. It's our lineage. And Afro Lee is very correct when he says even on a continent, a Nigerian doesn't want to be known as a Ghanaian. You know what I'm saying? Because they're proud of being Nigerian. It's a whole nother country, a whole nother culture. Even if they're similar, similar does not mean same. And that's what we're saying too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I got something.
Okay, Linda.
No, Lita.
Lita.
All right, so we talking about the FBA isn't a group or whatever. So basically, that flag, what that flag represent? Does that represent a country, or does it represent like black people as a whole?
It represents. This is the Black American Heritage flag.
Right. Okay. Right. So saying this, the FBA isn't a group. I think we should just go ahead and accept it. We are fully Black Americans, whatever you want to call it. Black people done came from all over the world because once upon a time the world was one big ass jigsaw puzzle. Over time, it's separated. So I do believe that humanity did start from Africa, even if it doesn't show up, because since the continents and countries separated, of course, some people gonna get stuck in that landmass. You get what I'm saying? And then it's just the United States just trying to always label on everything, black, sex, all of these things. But we are just humans, so I get where people come from about just want to avoid accountability. But we fully Black Americans, like on some real shit. So it don't have to be foundational and foundational. We is the foundation of America. So I don't see a problem with it.
All right. Yep. There's no problem with it. It shouldn't be, but you got people trying to make it seem like this is some type of group, or we tripping.
Yeah, I get what. Yeah, because I just tuned in and I've been just following, trying to catch on to what y'all was talking about or whatever. But I've been seeing the FBA thing coming across timelines and all that. But I think we should just go ahead and accept it, because once we accept it, it was just that I think it take the power out of it, because there's nothing else you can really argue with it once we can just come to a term of agreeing to disagree.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is at this point.
Well,
And people are fighting the inevitable.
well,
Now let's get to
Yeah. I'm like my grandma always say, you can slow something down, but you can't stop it,
It's true.
because it's coming. Cat Williams wasn't playing. Like, what book was he reading?
well, well.
Hold on. Let's get to Britt. There were some people who haven't spoken yet.
Hey everybody.
Hey, Britt, how you doing?
Good. So of course you guys know if you don't know my standpoint on it, it's not a group or an organization, it's a lineage of people. And when people like to say like you're not being respectful or we're not being respectful, even having dialogue or having conversations about something that we really don't have to have a conversation about, because it's our lineage, right? But we are taking the time to try to attempt to educate others just out of the respect that we have for Africa. So it's not that we don't want to be African. It's just the fact that You have haplogroups over here that don't even come from Africa here in America. Like if you were to look up, I believe her name is Fanny Campbell, right? She's alive right now. And she's a lady who has a haplogroup that is rooted in America and to the indigenous or aboriginal people of America. And they even go to naming the tribes that this haplogroup can be found in, amongst, and it has nothing to do with Africa. It has no known lineage to Africa at all.
Yep.
Okay, so I mean, it is what it is, and it's okay. We're all gonna be fine, So it's not a disrespect thing, and it's not a we hate Africa train. It's just enough is enough. We've been trying to do the unity thing for a while now, and it just hasn't been working out because it hasn't been reciprocal. So now it's like, okay, it's fine because we have something great here. So we don't have to be a part of anything that you guys have. You guys don't have to be a part of anything that we have because we have something great here. And that's all it is, really. It's just us claiming our right to being us.
Yeah, that's true. And honestly, I'm gonna say, like for instance, right? If somebody was to say, Brit, why don't you claim to be Chinese? Well, you would say, because I'm not from China, I'm not Chinese. Right? Wouldn't you say that?
Absolutely.
Because I'm not Chinese. I'm not going to claim to be Chinese. Oh, you just must hate China then. Okay, if you don't want to claim to be Chinese, just say that. If you don't like China, well, it's not about not liking China. It's not about hating China. It's not about that. It's about it being true or not true. And right now, it's about things being either true or not true. Are we from here? That is true. We are not from there. That is true. You guys want us to claim something that is untrue and to believe and preach something that is untrue under the guise of unity. And that is creating a flawed sense of unity. We shouldn't even have to claim something that is untrue or believe an indoctrinated version of an event that is untrue. If it's true, it's true. If it's not true, it's not true. Even if you want to say 100% of us came on a slave ship, that was so many centuries ago, you can't still say, well, you're still African. And then you ask, well, where in Africa? Well, West Africa. That's kind of vague, don't you think? Well, yep, that's still Africa. Okay, well, so it's not true then. Y'all can't even name a place. Talk about some DNA percentage that takes you to many different countries all over the world. It's not true, and it's okay.
It is. And we can even say that, the ones who came over here went back to Liberia, like I'm not going to go that far, but just playing.
So once again, I want to say that what you guys are doing is not a bad thing at all. Okay, you should be proud of your presence. I agree with that. Okay, nothing wrong with pro. There's nothing wrong with pro being pro black. This is a campaign that kind of was trying to develop back in Malcolm X time, like you were saying earlier, whatever the case may be. But yeah, nothing wrong with being pro black, man. I mean, I think when people are together, they tend to accomplish more. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay,
yeah, but we're gonna let's let some of the other speakers because they have
no problem with that.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to American Niji.
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Doing all right. I just wanted to add to the topic. I mean, we know we're lineage, and I think when people try to make it seem like it's other than that, I think it's them trying to play like mind games, with us and trying to. It's disrespectful, honestly. If you really look at it for what it is, and I have to blame. Pan-Africanism. I blame Pan-Africanism for much of this confusion because of the few Pan Africans that we had over here. For some reason, people think that most Black Americans were Pan African, which is not true. It was like 1% of us that believed in Pan Africanism. The rest were Christians and a little bit of Muslim sprinkled in there. So it's like, I think just people just not educated. Like most Black Americans were never Pan African. Most of us was never trying to go to Africa or uphold Africa with this big high esteem, and it's just not true. And I think that's where the confusion comes, because they see the small portion of us that do, listen to that nonsense. And I think they feel like, oh, well, y'all supposed to come to us, y'all came from us. And you're like, no. And like you said, I agree with what you said. Let's say that we did say all of us did come from Africa. I feel like after 500 years, there's no connection to that place. There's no country that we're connected to. There's no ethnic group that we're connected to. And this is what makes the whole concept of Pan-Africanism silly, is that, they're trying to connect us back to the continent, but there's none of our family members over there or anything like that. Like, we are our own ethnic group. We have our own culture. We have our own language, the way that we talk to each other. We have our own everything. So it's like, I think that's the purpose of FBA and the delineation. There's no more tethering off of our culture no more. There's no more double dipping. There's no more you're Black one day, and then the next day you're back, waving your flag from your other country, from the country that your family come from. Ain't no more double dipping no more. Them days are over with. So I just wanted to add that in there, brother.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah. And we just got a flag because somebody came, they showed themselves on their camera, okay, and they were smoking something. All right. And I removed him immediately because of that. All right. BX, can you block him if you see him back? Yeah, there he is back in the chat room.
What's his name?
His name is Sammy something. Sammy Sam something like that. If you could do
Okay.
me a good solid and block him. All right.
All right, I
Yeah,
see
we're
him.
not gonna do that.
I was just on the other panel trolling. I seen him on another panel
Yeah.
trolling.
And the thing is that he knows that stuff gets lives taken down. Okay, so he's trying to sabotage the live deliberately. All right.
Yeah, he's gone.
Okay, thank you. And the thing is that
You're welcome.
I feel like there was a lot of different degrees to Pan-Africanism. Okay. There in the beginning, because really when people said pro-Black, they just automatically meant like Pan-Africanism. So there were different degrees and levels to it, but the zealots kind of like took it over and made it into this religion where they're all like, okay, now it's become this worship of Africa. And then it really just deteriorated into this like cult, really, to a degree. You know what I'm saying? So now when you hear Pan-Africanist, the first person you think of is like Dr. Umar, to be honest. It's not even diverse like it used to be. Because there were a lot of people who used to be like, yeah, I'm Pan-Africanist, but they never wanted to go to Africa or leave Africa, or leave America. They never wanted to have this mass exodus to Africa. You know what I'm saying? There were people who cared about the diaspora, and they would say, okay, well, if I care about the diaspora and I want all Black people to work together, I'm a Pan-Africanist. But that got overshadowed by people being all like the zealots that came in and pretty much took it over. So now they're the representatives now of Pan-Africanism. And we weren't that. And the brother brings up a good point. Even if, like I said, all of us came from Africa, and there would be no Black people in Americas if it wasn't for the transatlantic slave trade. you have to ask yourself this. How far removed do you have to be in order not to claim something? Like, how long do we have to be gone for us to say we're not from there? If we left Africa 1,000,000 years ago, do people say, well, no, 1,000,000 years ago, you were in Africa, so you're an African? If we like, how far long does it have to be? I feel like 500, if you've been on a different continent for 500 years, I feel like it's kind of disingenuous to even claim that continent, that you were from that your ancestors were from 500 years ago. Like, what's the thing? Like, if it was 1,000 years to 10,000 years, where is the time limit for where we can't claim where our ancestors were from 10,000 years ago?
Afro, I'm sorry, can I speak on the prompt now because I'm starting to see little things in the comments talking
Okay,
about
yeah.
some hate group and cult. Know your definition of a cult and know your definition of a hate group, okay? Because I find it funny that you come over here in our face and call us a hate group when in your own continent, country, whatever, has G sides. People who come and unalive a whole village, a group of people. But you come over here because you get engrossed or getting corrected on a panel. Now all of a sudden we're a hate group. What about the people who's really doing you wrong and having you flee from your country? How do you come over here and try to shame us, but not the people that made you leave your country? I don't understand that. And then a cult. Do you know what a cult is? We don't all live together. We don't do rituals together. We're not. It's just like you're throwing words out there that has no meaning into what we're doing.
But
So
he's
as we telling you right now, it's a lineage, but you still want to run your mouth and make up all these lies, trying to spread all these lies about us. Go correct the people in your country that's the actual hate group that's doing G sides on you before you come over here and try to throw out these accusations on us.
Good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. Thank you, Halo. Let's get to Tija.
Hey, how's everyone doing tonight? I just have a couple of questions.
Can you speak
Uh,
up a little bit?
can you hear me? Sorry. Hey, good evening, everyone. I just have a
Good
couple of
evening.
questions.
Before you ask your questions, can you give
Go
us
ahead.
your ethnic group?
Yeah, I'm Nigerian.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Nigeria. I'm also an American citizen as well. I moved here when I was younger.
Okay.
And I think for me, I'm fully aware that African American culture is unique and it should be respected. Um, the the challenge I have, maybe it's not really a challenge, but the the misunderstanding at least from my standpoint, is how do we, since we have similar, maybe not all black people, but a lot of black people have similar features. How do we group each other then? Do you understand the point I'm trying to make?
You might want to block FBA Sam. That's the same dude that came up here and that was
Yeah, I thought FBA Sam was
no,
Halo blocked
FBA
him.
Sam is the same dude. I see him on I blocked him on Shavu's panel.
Okay, hold
The
on.
same dude.
Okay. BX, when you see FBA Sam, can you block him, please? Oh no, I see him. I got him. I got him.
What's your page with the mod? It's banned.
The mod, because the other, I told you not to mod that page.
Okay.
Oh.
This is my main page though.
Okay. I'll get you. But you said how can we tell like the difference, right?
Not necessarily how we can. It's so, as humans, or
Mm-hmm.
let's just say as people, whenever we go to a space, part of the way we form connections is based on what we see initially, right? So you might see someone, and maybe because of if they're black, you're gonna nod, or you might see features that are similar to yours, and that's a way we somewhat group ourselves based on features we see. You get what I'm trying to say? Where do we draw the line? Because in a sense, we could still be different people
Mm-hmm.
based on our cultures, but still be a group as well because of features that we share.
Well,
And
yeah, our feet. Yeah, we have the Negroid phenotype.
yeah,
You know, there's variations of a Negroid phenotype, and I mean, that's kind of like a little redundant, to be honest, because let's be honest, there are Asians, and a lot of people make the joke and the stereotype that all Asians look alike, even though there's different, looks in the Asian community or whatever. But if a Chinese person and a Japanese person, even though a lot of them have the same features or whatever the case is, they still don't claim to be the same people.
fair.
You will not be able to get a Chinese person and Japanese, no matter how much you talk about their features, their facial features, their hair texture or whatever, they are not going to claim to be the same people at all whatsoever. All right. So yeah, we can respect the differences of people, even if they have the same racial phenotype. You know what I'm saying? Just like the same way Chinese people, Korean people, Japanese people have the same Asian phenotype, and they all recognize each other's differences. So we're not asking for anything that's not already being done. You know what I'm saying?
I see.
Yeah.
Fair. That's all I was gonna. That's the whole point. Because from my standpoint, I look at it like this: it's like we could all be different people, have different cultures, have a mutual respect for each other's cultures, and still be a broader group because of the I guess the characteristic we share. But I also see the point you're trying to make. I have a second question. This is the second point. Second question.
You gotta be real quick, because
This is real quick. This is gonna be real quick. What's your thought on citizenship, and where do we draw the line in terms of people that have been in the Americas for much longer and people that come to America and gain citizenship in America? Where do you draw the line as it relates to the rights that one group should have as opposed to the other?
well, there definitely should be advantages and privileges granted to citizens that other people don't cannot partake in. I don't agree with the harm of people who are not citizens, but I do say that the thing is that they shouldn't be here and they should be deported the same way everywhere else in the world. They get deported. I'm not asking for them to be slaughtered in the street, but you know what I'm saying? If they get shipped back to their homeland the same way we would if we went to their home, that's the right way to do things. There's a right and wrong way to do immigration. All right. And if we do immigration the wrong way, we would be deported. And if they do immigration the wrong way, they get deported. I mean, that's just the right. There's a right and wrong way to do that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's asking or advocating for harm of anybody, but there is a right and wrong way to do it. And if they don't do it the right way, then they got to go back.
Fair.
You know, I mean, that is what it is.
Okay, thank you. I'm good. Go back into that.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, there's a right and wrong. Yeah. They gotta go. This in the same way. And let me add something else as well too. Right now we have realized that a lot of immigration, legal or illegal, also is weaponized against the benefit and the advancement of our community. So that's why a lot of us have said, you know what, we can't be too much of a fan of even the legal immigration, because we have realized that legal immigration has also been used, even stemming from the Homestead Act. The legal immigration has also been used and is when weaponized against our community too. So we're going to have to really evaluate legal and illegal immigration altogether and say, you know what, America owes us something right now. So while they focused on getting immigrants in here, and while they focus on giving everybody else an economic base, they need to be focused on giving us our reparations. Okay, before we talk about letting anybody else up in here, y'all owe a debt to us. You know, so that's kind of really the page I'm on. You know.
Fair. I respect that. Thank you.
Thank you. Damn, who was next, BX? Do you remember?
Did Veli speak? If not Veli, then I would say Fee guy.
I
Yeah,
think it was
Belly spoke.
Twan.
Belly spoke.
It was Twan that was next. Then it was Six. I was just waiting everybody to speak and
No,
being
wait. Who's
respectful.
the guy, the Haitian right there next to Twan? Did he speak?
Fee guy, no, he didn't.
Right. So him. I'm thinking him. Yeah.
Okay, Fee guy, you
Yeah.
can go ahead.
Ma'am, how do you just assume that I'm Haitian?
Because we
Because I
heard
was on
you.
a
We
panel
was on
with
a
you
panel with
before.
you the other day.
Oh, okay. I
Right?
was just curious.
Okay, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out what I think is. I'm sorry.
You know, nothing. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's hilarious because I can easily point at Afro Elite. He could easily pass for a Nigerian. He don't look much different from
Oh
Tika.
my God,
Look
sir.
like no Nigerian.
Sir, first
Stop
of all,
it.
hold on. You're so busy being
Can I say
offended, you
something on
didn't
this one?
realize that
No,
I
it,
had showed you
nobody
respect
even
by
y'all. Here's the
properly
thing:
identifying you as Haitian
you
because I
try
was
to
on the panel
clap
with you.
back,
So
and
stop.
nobody was even getting
Right.
on you like that.
At the
Come on.
wrong person. You
What's that?
need to stop trying. You need to stop visiting so many panels. You don't realize who you on a panel with. Because we were on a panel with you, and that's how I know you Haitian. And you was trying to make us African, and then a fellow Haitian came up here of yours and was like, we're not African, we're indigenous, and we're this and we're that. I remember that panel, sir.
Yeah,
Do
it
you?
happened
I
just
think
the
he
other
look
day.
Haitian,
Okay,
don't
okay.
y'all?
No,
I'm
hey,
sorry.
no, I'm gonna mute.
Yeah, ma'am. There's nothing wrong with looking Haitian, but there's no such thing as a person looking Haitian.
Y'all do have distinct. No. Halo is right. We got to cut this out. We can all be melanated, but I can tell somebody who's Caribbean due to certain features that they have, and I can tell somebody who's African due to certain features that they have. And everybody, don't cut me off yet. Everybody who's been on a panel with me can tell you I know who's cosplaying from the way they talk, their dialect. And I want to tell y'all, I don't care if y'all visited New York, was born and raised here, y'all are making New York look bad right now. And y'all not from New York if your parents are from Nigeria. Like y'all are doing the most on this app and they get mad when we call you out. There's certain things that I know about y'all. Y'all could dress exactly like us, especially in New York, but if you tie your Timbs a certain way, I know you ain't from New York. You're not FBA.
Yeah,
And
I
so
think
she
part of the issue
doesn't
that I
mean, so
have with
you
that.
do have features that look Haitian. I just didn't want you to feel, that we picking on you. But you do. You
No,
do
no, I'm
look kind
picking
of
on me
Haitian,
for
sir.
what?
Okay.
He called
And,
you
and
ugly
at
or
the end of
something.
the day, it's fine. That's fine.
Why
It's
would
okay
it? Why would it not be
that there's
fun?
some distinct looks. It's okay. That's okay.
No, I mean I just strongly disagree with that because oftentimes I've seen many African Black Americans that come on these spaces, and other Black Americans mistake them for tethers, saying, "Oh, you this, you
Okay.
that."
Okay. Well,
It
let's move
happens.
on past that. Let's move on past that.
We must look
Let's
bomb.com.
let's
Everybody
let's
want us
move
to be
on
looking
past
like
that
that.
because then now we're gonna bring up something that happened in another space. What
Yeah, I
is
mean I
your
just
what is
wanted.
your opinion of the prompt?
Yeah, I just wanted to. Well, actually, I wanted to respond to something you said earlier about someone wouldn't call you Chinese because you're not born in China, and therefore a person who's not born in Africa shouldn't be referred to as an African. But to me, I think that's somewhat a little bit of a hypocrisy in a sense, because when we have kids here in the U.S., they still considered Haitian, Jamaican, whether they be 4 or 5 generations here, never even been to Haiti, and in some cases, some of them don't even speak the language, but yet people still
Whose
refer
fault
to
is
them
that?
as
Whose
Haitian.
fault is
For
that?
that,
Whose fault is that?
the reason for that is the thing is that you guys did not have, and that's an interesting point you bring up, but you guys didn't have ethnogenesis. When you guys immigrate to another land, when people immigrate to another land, they don't divorce everything from their previous nation. They carry things over. We didn't carry anything over. We had to start with America, so we are American. Okay, and people are trying to tie us and connect us to other nationalities and other ethnicities when our ethnogenesis began here. You know what I'm saying? You all come over and you guys have not severed your cultural and heritage from your culture or your heritage from Haiti. So that's why that would be different. But the thing is that if you as a Haitian, if you came to America and your descendants lived in America for 500 years, and I asked one of your descendants where you're from, they wouldn't say Haiti. They wouldn't. They would not say Haiti if they
Well,
were
according
if
to
they were not from Haiti for 500 years. A lot of you guys are coming over here and y'all really first or second generation. That's not that long. But if you guys were in another land 500 years into this land, you guys wouldn't claim the land you guys were from 500 years ago. The same way Haitians today claim Haiti and not some country in Africa.
well, here's what I also disagree with that because
Allowed to
um,
without pushback.
no,
It gets on
no,
my
no,
nerves.
yeah, no one is trying to force Black Americans to be Africans. For some reason, I think a lot of Black Americans think that
Sir, you've been doing
That's
that
not
all
true.
the
That's
time
not
you've been
true.
on these panels.
That's not
You've
true.
been trying to make us African too. You've been
ma'am,
doing it.
ma'am. But
You
you
have.
didn't let me land, ma'am. You didn't let me land, ma'am.
Because
What I'm
you
saying
just
is,
you're doing too
no,
much.
no,
Let me tell you something.
no
You
one is
will
trying to
always
make
be
Black
Haitian,
Americans
even 5
African
generations in
any
here.
more than someone trying to make me African.
No,
It's
that's
based.
the thing. No, brother, no. Let me say that no, because there was one, I guess he was a TikToker and YouTuber content creator named Adonis. And Adonis was doing a bunch of interviews. He's a Black American FBA. He was doing a bunch of interviews with different people from Africa and the Caribbean, right? And he was asking, oh, well, do asking them questions, just random questions. And the general, we've recognized and we've seen many videos and podcasts and street interviews on top of conversations that we had on our own live stream, where the general consensus is that a Black American doesn't really know where they're from. Okay. And that's a narrative that does not get said about Haitians. Nobody says, well, Haitians, they really not from Haiti. They really don't know where they're from. That's something that's only said about Black Americans, that we don't know where we're from and we're not really American. We're really from Africa. The Caribbean is really protected from that narrative. Nobody says, I mean, Haitians, I mean, I guess you were in Haiti for like a few hundred years, but where are you really from? Nobody does Haitians like that. Y'all don't do Haitians like that.
No,
And
but
you're
for
trying to
us,
make
like,
false equivalency because of the fact that there was a slave trade, but y'all don't do Haitians like that, Jamaicans like that, or anybody in the
nah,
Caribbean. Nobody in the Caribbean gets done like that.
for us, the general consensus is that we're from Africa as Haitians.
No, the
The
general
same goes
consensus.
for, and we
Stop,
accept that.
dude, stop. The general consensus is that you guys are Haitian, with your own flag, your own language, your own customs, your own
N-
religion, all of that. That is the
Now you
general
try. Now
consensus.
you're trying to
But
disconnect us
no,
from
no,
Africa.
because we've seen this and you're lying. Okay, stop doing that. Because if somebody put a microphone up to somebody's head, face, and was all like, "Where are you from?" If Kai Sanat said, "I'm from Haiti," nobody's gonna say, "You must not really know where you're from." If he said he's from Haiti, it would just be that. The conversation would be over. Oh, you're from Haiti. It
Okay,
could
if you see the
be
comment
that.
in the comment section, it say Haitians are connected to Africa. That's
Nobody,
the general consensus.
dude, no. You listen. The general consensus is that you guys are your own ethnic group of people, and that is respected. The same way everybody in the Caribbean's ethnicity is respected. If we went to Kai Sanat and he said he was Haitian, or where his other
No,
family is from, listen, if he said he was Haitian or Trinidadian, if we went to Nicki Minaj and said, "Hey, Nicki Minaj, where are you from?" "Oh, you're from Trinidad." "Hey, Rihanna, where are you from?" "Oh, you're from Barbados." Nobody would say, "Oh, okay, you're from Barbados, but where are you really from? I mean, where are you from before Barbados?" Nobody says that to Rihanna. Nobody says,
he,
"Okay, Nicki Minaj, you're from Trinidad, but like you're not really from Trinidad. Where are you really Nobody says that to anybody in the Caribbean. Okay? Nobody
that's
says,
not true.
okay, well, be quiet, because you're lying. Because we've seen it. We have actually seen it. We have seen people do interviews where when the Caribbean says anywhere in the Caribbean, that gets left alone. And then when a black American says that, there are follow-up questions because people do not respect the fact that we're from America. Okay?
Okay,
So
you do
we've already
realize
seen that,
So
and
you're
that
not
you
you're
do
Latinos
just
no
lying.
more?
You're just lying. So we're
you,
gonna
you
move
do
on.
you do
Yeah, you
realize
are
like Africa
lying.
and the Caribbean have been bridging
So
the
you're
gap,
not
right? There's been
Latinos no more?
summits. There's been summits right
It
now where
doesn't.
they begin to do
What does
trade.
bridging the
That's
gap
They,
not our
have to do with
business. Our
anything?
business is you leave us alone.
That doesn't defeat the point because y'all can be best friends. Okay, you and the other Caribbeans can be best friends, but y'all would still be respected as different. Okay, y'all are
we've in
respected as
fact
your own ethnicity, dude, and you're
there.
gaslighting and lying. You're just straight up lying at this point.
No, I
So
mean
we're moving
you're
on.
not allowing me to speak. I'm not saying that we don't acknowledge that we are Haitian, but what I'm saying is we are Haitians with Haitians of African descent.
No.
I'm saying that
What you're
we're
trying
not
to say, no,
disconnected
no.
from.
You're trying to make it seem as if Haitians and Black Americans go through the same thing, and they don't go
No,
through
I'm
the same.
not. No,
No,
in fact, I'm
because
saying no, I'm
Haitians,
saying the opposite.
stop. No, because Haitians' ethnicity is respected point blank period as just being Haitian. Okay, when someone says they're Haitian, there are no follow-up questions. Nobody gaslights them or says you're ignorant as to where you're really from. That doesn't happen to Haitians or anybody else in the Caribbean. That only happens here to us.
I think you're missing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is overall, the Caribbean is not trying. Like you guys are the one that's saying that you basically severing all ties with Africa.
No,
I'm
no,
saying
no,
yes. I'm
no,
saying the rest
no,
of the black
stop it,
diaspora.
stop. No, don't tell us what we're saying. We're telling you what we're saying. And since you're gonna be so disingenuous, we are gonna move on at this point. Because the thing is that what we are saying is that our ethnicity has not been respected as well as everybody else's. Everybody else's ethnicity, there are no follow-up questions. And this is the last time I'm gonna say it, and we're gonna move on. I'm saying this really for the audience though, because you're not gonna get it. Everybody else's ethnicity. If you say Jamaica, Haiti, Trinidad, Afro-Brazilian, if you say Afro-Mexican, if you say anything, there are no follow-up questions. There are no gaslighting. There is no condescension. It is, oh, well, okay, well, you guys are, yeah, you're from there. And not only that, and your culture is respected. Nobody has videos saying that Haitians don't have culture. Nobody has that. Nobody has videos saying Jamaicans don't have culture. Nobody has videos saying nobody from the Caribbean doesn't have culture, but they have several videos saying Black Americans don't have culture. Okay?
May I just ask the question? Is that when you say there's follow-up question, is that from a small percentage of people? Because
No, that's from the same people who would ask us follow-up questions. Would not ask follow-up questions to the Caribbean.
What I
All
was
right?
saying is I was not arguing against that.
Okay, well, the
I
argument is over
acknowledge.
with. The argument is over with. All right? Because this is the prompt. So it is what it is at this point. So we're going to move on. You said Twan was next, right, BX? Okay, Twan.
Thanks for inviting me onto the panel. I am Black American Freedman. Mom's from Georgia, dad's from Alabama. And FBA is a middle organization. Of course not. It's a lineage, and I think that's very, very, very objective.
Are you
That
like on a speaker or Bluetooth or something?
uh,
It sounds a little audio's not that well.
sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I don't know what the connection issue was. FBA is a lineage. I'm Black American. My mom's from Georgia. My dad's from Alabama, 500 years in. I think the objective is that Black Americans are delineating for our own preservation, and that a lot of people feel entitled to that because we've been so open before in the past. The subjective would be that we not do so for our own benefit because none of these people are actually owed anything in this country because they didn't work for it.
Hmm.
Um, the gaslighting comes from the fact that Black Americans are important because if we weren't, these people wouldn't act like this or play these games. Um, they don't care about Jamaicans or Haitians or any other Black ethnic group, like Nigerians or Ghanaians or anybody like that, because they're all in the same boat. They all want to come over here and make an identity for themselves. So they don't care about them. That's why they don't ask them where they're from, because they're trying to gaslight us because they want to be us. We're like a light in a dark place where they're all trying to be. So what they do is try to discredit. That's why when they say you don't have any culture and then you turn around and see them dressed like you, that's why you see that. Because they're trying to discredit you in order to take something from you to say that it's theirs. Because they want to be you. That's all it is. It's narcissism on steroids and them playing stupid like they don't get it. It's just more and more gaslighting.
Hmm.
Thank you for inviting me onto the panel.
Yeah,
White
but
tea
they get it.
people push the propaganda that this is a foreign country, not that it's.
Okay, hold on.
I'm 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 African American.
Okay, but there were some other people here, so we're gonna get to you. Okay,
All
let's
right.
uh, let's let Six go ahead.
What's up, Afro? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
All right. How y'all? Yeah. How the panel doing? How y'all doing? BX? How you doing? Yeah. But anyway,
Thank you. How are you, Six?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Uh, it's it's a never ending. I mean, we sitting over here having a conversation, discussing our business or whatever, and you got tethers coming in trying to disrupt the program and trying to throw us off and all the above, and they wonder why we delineating and stuff. I mean, look at the stuff you do. What makes you think we want to be part of that stuff that you're doing? We don't indulge in that, and we're not, and we're not gonna start. See, y'all bought so mad. I'm sorry, but I believe so much crap came into the game when the immigrants came. I'm sorry, but call me biased, but yes, I really do. Because I remember the time where Black Americans were dressing suit, ties, casual. Hell, we could. If you ask me, didn't the black man create the what is that? The dapper?
They created pretty much everything that's on this country.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, I'm talking about. But as far as the dapper and stuff, yeah. But my thing is, and still will always be, what is the problem? Why does it bother you so much that we want to stand on our own and all the above?
Because it's not going to happen because you
I
have
Hold
mean,
on,
a
man.
corrupt government.
Hold on.
sweetheart, sweet.
Man.
I feel you. I understand,
Let
sweetheart.
him say what he gotta say.
Yeah, I'm not done talking, sweetheart. I feel you, but let me get through. I got you. But damn, you made me mess up my whole train of thought. But anyway, um, like I was saying, we were disrespected by damn near every other group here, including Haitians, including Jamaican, African, hell, even Latino. Everybody. So what we realize is Black Americans realize we don't got no allies. We don't got no friends.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have no allies in the whole. I know what y'all talking about is a few, and it stems back to what Muhammad Ali said during the interview when he was asked about there were certain YT folks that's not racist and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, okay, let's say I take this 10,000 that's not racist, but there's a million that are racist. So how am I to depict the two? I'm supposed to leave the. I'm supposed to just leave the door open. No, not at all. But again, like I said, it's drawing. It's getting it's getting exhausted. I ain't gonna lie. This is getting really exhausting and stuff because we're preaching the same story. We're saying the same thing over and over again. And at this point, it's not like they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, man, it's not like they do not know what's going on. It's not like they don't know why it's going on. It's not like they don't know the purpose. Because by now, I can assure you, brothers, sisters, they know everything.
Yeah.
I can assure you.
Who's they?
They, as in immigrants, everybody that comes to America, everybody that been in this America by now, even folks outside of America, know what's going on. Know why we delineating. Know why we going our own path. They know. They know. So I'm not hearing the excuse. I myself, I'm not hearing the excuse of I didn't know or I don't know what's going on or my people didn't. It don't matter at this point.
Mm. Yeah.
Respect it, respect it or check it, man. And I'll let my plane.
Yep. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Let's get to let's get to Prompt Peasy. Prompt Peasy. Hey, where'd you go? Going once, going twice. Don't slow the room down. Prompt Peasy, are you with us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Alright, so basically other African like people when like black Americans in America are already like having a problem with the government itself. Like
Wait. Okay.
why are
Well,
you
first
targeting
off, you were cutting in and out. Did you say where you were from? What your ethnicity was?
Nah. I'm I was born and raised in America.
Okay, but where were you from? Where were your family from before America?
My parents are from Africa.
Where at in Africa?
East Africa.
What country in Africa?
My parents are Somali.
Okay, all right. That's okay. All right. Now, what do you have to say?
So like
Didn't have to ask those many questions to get to that, but okay.
alright, so like why are we trying to like make a problem with Africans like
Why are
ain't black
we trying to
yeah.
make a problem with Africans?
Okay, why are the FBA like why is this like if it seems like this organization is like trying to like make an issue with Africans when like
Is the prompt says the FBA is not an organization.
okay, so like no
Let's
what
start
are you
there.
guys?
We're the lineage, the people you formally refer to as African American. That's what FBA is. So
Okay.
now that you know that FBA is not an organization and it is the lineage of people that you referred to previously as African American, now what do you have to say?
So it seems as if black Americans in the US like facing all these struggles with the government,
Mm-hmm.
like why is this a key problem to like differentiate yourselves from Africans? Like why is that like the main issue here? Like
Who says it's the main issue?
it seems like it like this is like it's a random like problem. It doesn't make any
No,
sense.
we have
Hold on. No, it's
outsiders.
not. It's not a random. Hold on. It's not a random problem. But is it a problem?
Uh, a little bit, cause like
Well, here's the thing. How
it
big does
seems
the
kind of
problem?
necessary.
How big? Listen. How big does the problem need to be?
Listen.
Ooh.
Like okay, so I'm gonna go to the term that BX like she said cosplayers.
Mm-hmm.
Like why is it like when African Americans like come to America? Not yeah, when Africans come to America, like why are they called cosplayers for pretending to be black?
You
Like
know,
they are
because here's
black.
the thing. Here's
Did
the
you
thing.
you
That's
Here's
what
really
the
ask
because
that
you're
the
not our
problem.
question?
ethnic group.
Hold on. The problem with that is because that becomes very harmful to the rest of the people. Okay, nobody is sitting up there tripping that immigrants come over here and they wear Jordans. Nobody is coming over here tripping that immigrants come over here and they got do-rags on or bonnets. Nobody is tripping that. Okay, but the thing is that you are cosplaying so you can deliberately hide where you're really from.
What benefits comes from that
Hold
though?
on, listen. I'm gonna give you examples. Oh, I'm gonna give you perfect examples. So you're doing that to deliberately kind of disguise where you're from, so you can gain some type of position in Black America. We can take Kamala, for example. Okay, former President Harris, all right? She was out there doing interviews talking about how she was listening to Snoop Dogg and Tupac in college, which we know was a lie, but and making collard greens and listening to rap and all of this stuff, completely cosplaying, wearing Tim's, cosplaying, because that's not her culture. That's not where she's from. She was putting on Southern accents. This is cosplaying. She's mimicking someone that she's not like. So she can be placed in a position, or so we can look at her a certain way, for her to be placed in a position that was eventually going to harm us. Okay? For instance, another one, Coleman Hughes. Okay, what's his name, Coleman Cruz, but his last name is Hughes or Cruz or something like that. He switched that. Now he's on reparations panels. Okay, I'm giving you actual real life examples of him being on reparations panels talking about, well, yeah, my ancestors probably wouldn't want no reparations for slavery. What needs to happen is we need reparations, and we need to talk about police reform, and we need to talk about all of these things, when his ancestry actually goes back to what I think is the Dominican, if I'm not mistaken, but it goes outside of America. Okay, Candace Owens, whose lineage also goes outside of America, was also on different panels. Okay, so you'll have people who go on different panels and be all like, well, as an African American, I don't think we are owed any reparations. And then when you look into their background, their ancestry goes outside of America. Okay, they're not a foundational Black American. So this is why we're saying, Ilhan Omar and all that. This is why we're saying, hey, we got to stop with this stuff, because you guys are coming in trying to blend in, and then next thing you know, we're trying to question, why is the ship turning left? Because y'all blend in with a different agenda, and then next thing y'all know, we got a bunch of problems coming in. So it becomes problematic. It's less than, okay, of course you guys are going to adopt a lot of the cultural norms of the culture or the nation that you're raised in. That's not what we're saying. But we're saying is, when it comes to cosplaying, you guys try to hide, not all, but too many try to hide the fact that they're immigrants, and give the impression that they're not immigrants, to give the impression that they're Black
Why do you want to know that
Americans,
we're
so
immigrants?
they can then speak on Black American issues with some authority.
Economically
Afro,
speaking,
don't forget the Black Congress. Don't forget
The Black
Black
Congressional,
Caucus.
the
Don't
Congressional
forget
Black
that.
Caucus
Don't
and all
forget that
that.
lady
listen,
who just came out a bit and talking about some
but
she gonna do for
the
Jamaica and everything.
common Black immigrant coming from another country, like economically, is gonna be based right where right where the Black Americans have been placed at. Like, so why is this an issue? Like,
What do you
we're
mean,
on
why
the
is it an
same.
issue? Because if I went to, you said you're from Somalia, right?
Yeah.
If I went to Somalia and I lived among Somalian people, I cannot sit up there and say well, you know what? Technically, I'm Somalian. At the very best, Somalian people might acknowledge and maybe even respect me as a Somalian citizen, but they will not claim me as a fellow Somalian. At the very best, they will
That
say
goes
you're a
in America
Somalian
too.
citizen. Okay, and they might be real cool with me, but they're not gonna say, oh, you're a Somalian, and I damn sure am not gonna be able to speak on their behalf. They will never allow me to do that, even if I was a Somalian citizen. Okay,
Listen up.
so
Listen up.
the
May I
same
make a statement?
respect that Somalians want people to have for them is the same respect we want Somalians and other Africans and Caribbeans to have for us, and that's not asking too much.
All right, though, but
You,
like if you go
you
to like
damn sure
New
won't have
York,
no seat in
if you go to
politics.
New York, and then like you're not gonna be able to speak for a black person in New York. They're not gonna claim you if you're not from there.
What
Like
do you mean?
they
Okay.
do that in the
What do
states
you
too.
mean? What do you mean? Say that again. What? I
If you're
don't
not
understand
from
what
a
you're saying.
city in the United States and you go to that hood or whatever, like they're not gonna claim you, and you're not
Oh,
gonna be
brother.
allowed
Are
to
you
speak.
living in New York right now? What state are you in?
No, I'm not.
Okay, good. So don't speak for New Yorkers, right? Because here's the issue.
Exactly. You
Everybody
see the
mute
point I'm
up.
trying to
Hold
make?
on, hold on.
No,
I'm
she's
telling you
from
as
New
an
York.
immigrant. I'm telling you as an immigrant. Do
I ain't an
not
immigrant. I was
speak
born here.
for New
Don't
You're
York.
call me
still
an
an
And you're
immigrant.
immigrant.
still an
I was
immigrant.
born. I was
Hold
born
on,
in
You
the
don't
y'all.
have
state.
any
Mute up,
lineage
because he's
here.
And
Don't
about
see,
have
to
any
this
make
is
me
the
lineage.
upset.
cosplaying thing we're talking about right now.
Right. So here's the issue. Y'all don't understand. We're not tribalistic, right? We may have been raised in different cities and states, so we may have regional differences, but we have one main culture. So that means that you cannot use New York and speak about New York as if you're a Black American of the lineage against the South. We're not doing that. And y'all try to separate and y'all try to use New York as some type of standing. And what you're doing is embarrassing New York. You're causing more problems for us with our family in the South. So don't come up here and talk about you can't go to New York and speak like this and that. Yes, they can. If they're from the South, if they're from the lineage.
Stop.
They can say certain things to us, but you can't. You never could. Never should you be taken credible to speak for one of us. And this is the issue that I'm finding. When the Nigerian was up here with a thick accent talking about he Nigerian, but then when he used New York, I'm from New York. And I just said, oh my God. Y'all don't understand. We don't even have the largest amount of foreign-born immigrants here. But you would think that we do. I think that because hip-hop was birthed here, y'all think y'all got some standing because y'all was raised here. I don't care about none of that. Y'all ain't from the lineage. There was an indigenous population of New Yorkers who are FBA, okay? They won their freedom in 1827, but wasn't fully emancipated until like the 1840s. Y'all do not come from that lineage. Y'all don't get to speak for us because we're still here. And we're facing erasure unlike you ever known, and so is Cali. So is Florida. Because y'all get on these apps and act like y'all us, and that causes problems for us with our family throughout the states. And we got to repair that. And that's why we say stop cosplaying. Shout out to the content creators. Hold on. Shout out to the content creators that sit there and analyze stuff and say all the beefs that was started was by Tether. Cosplaying. Y'all gotta cut it out. So I'm from New York. I'm here. You can't come here and speak as if you're a Black American.
So we're
And
gonna
somebody from
pretend
the
it's a
South could
black
come
Hold
here
on,
American
hold on. Let
and
her
talk
talk, bro.
to
domestic
Let
me.
her
ghetto.
talk.
So somebody from the South could come in and be like, I'm from Atlanta. This is how hip hop was formed. This is how our culture is. This is what we cook. This is our soul food. They can speak on my culture in New York, but you can't as a Somalian. You can't. And that's just facts.
Correct.
And I don't care if
Okay.
you was raised here, if you don't never went to Somalia, that's your parents' fault. They don't teach you your language, your customs. They don't take you back to your island. That ain't our fault. Your nation, that ain't our fault. And we don't have to accept you. Have a talk with your parents because they failed you, not us.
Understood.
Yeah. I think just one point. I just like to be quick. This is the problem that they have with
I'm
the
gonna mute
lineage
my mic,
in the
man.
first place, because they can't be included into the whole thing. Sir, you being born here does not change your lineage or your ethnicity. You are not a Black American. You never will be just because you're born here. Your lineage is a foreign. So that's what first thing you have to understand. Secondly, Black Americans are one ethnic group, no matter where we are in the country, and we're all over this country. We're one specific ethnic group, and within our ethnic group, we have all kinds of different innovative cultures. You're not a part of that, no matter if you're born here. It doesn't matter how long you've been here. It doesn't matter if you're raised here. You don't come from our ethnic identity. You're not one of us. And a part of Black American delineation is all of our ethnic gains, all of our civil rights. The reason that you can come here as a Somalian is because of our ancestors. So our delineation threatens that because you people say that you work so hard. But if Black Americans delineate and we get lineage-based policies passed in this country and our ethnic identity specifically
Immigrants been
for
in the
who we
U.S. for
are,
years now.
you ain't did nothing, sir. You don't get any benefits because you
Nope.
haven't earned it and you don't work and you haven't
Listen,
worked for
we're
it.
not gonna
Hold
pretend
on,
Your
as
hold on,
if
hold on,
ancestors
hold
black
on.
haven't worked
people
for
Stop,
in the
stop,
anything
U.S.
here.
stop,
don't.
stop. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Your ancestors have not worked or earned anything here. It was because of our ancestors and our civil rights movement, and our Immigration Act of 1964, 1965 that
That
you people
wasn't
come
just your
here,
ancestors. There was other
it wasn't,
immigrants.
Well, well, hold
we're
on,
not
hold on.
immigrants.
Here's the thing. Let me jump in on this real quick. Here's the thing. Y'all like to delineate when it's beneficial and then not when it's not beneficial. Y'all was very interesting, and I noticed this particularly about African immigrants, but immigrants in general. Y'all will conveniently pick and choose. Okay, when y'all talk about immigrants, they benefited or whatever the case is. Fine, we can give that to them. But you are from Somalia. Your ancestry is from Somalia, so you can't claim to be a part of some of the benefits that maybe a Jamaican person brought to America, or a Haitian person, or a Nigerian person. So what does Somalia do to benefit America? See, y'all like to do a thing where, well, since I'm an immigrant, I get to hold the W's of all immigrants when I want to. And then when I want to hold the W's of a Somalian, I can do that. And if I want to
I can't
dismiss
speak
an
for immigrants.
immigrant,
I'm not
I
an
can do
immigrant.
that. No, 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 no,
Yes, you
no,
are.
no. We're not doing that.
Yo,
We're not doing
come
that. If you
on.
want to say immigrants, what do Somalians do specifically? Don't just claim immigrant now.
I'm not an immigrant. I was born in the U.S.
You
Okay,
said you're
see,
not an
that's another
immigrant,
thing. Here's the
but you
thing.
are.
America, for maybe America is not an ethnicity for
I know
pretty
that.
much anybody besides us. Is not. Now it is really our ethnicity, but besides us, it's really not an ethnicity. It's a nationality. So you might be an American citizen, just like if I went to Somalia, I can gain citizenship. Okay, I would still be considered an immigrant. Okay, and my children would still be considered immigrants, even if they were Somalian citizens. Okay, because we are not a part of the Somalian heritage. We are not a part of the Somalian lineage, even if we are citizens of that nation. You are not a part of the American lineage, or the which is really American lineage really is foundational Black American lineage. You're not a part of this lineage in this heritage. You're not. Okay? You are a citizen of this nation, but you are an immigrant. All in all, you're a citizen, but you're an immigrant. Just like if we went to Somalia, we would be Somalian immigrants. I mean, American immigrants, but we would maybe be citizens and all of that. I'm not a citizen. Yeah, but the thing is that yeah, but you're not really you're connected to this ethnicity. Your ethnicity is foreign.
How is Black American an ethnicity?
Do
I'm
you know what?
confused.
Do you know what our
Explain it to me.
ethnogenesis
Lord
is,
have
sir?
mercy.
Do you know
Okay.
what ethnogenesis means? We were here before the
Now
country
hold
became a
on.
country
How is
in
Black American?
1776.
If you say how is Black
No, sorry,
American,
I said that wrong. I said that
sorry.
wrong. I
You don't have
apologize. I
any
said that
lineage
wrong.
here, sir.
Okay, my question that I wanted to ask was like, how is American an ethnicity? This is a country. This
This
like
guy, how
you,
old are you?
the
I'm
U.S.,
gonna
bro.
go.
How is the United States an ethnicity? That doesn't even make sense. I feel
Nah,
like
it's not. It's not.
Do you?
yeah,
We have the
there's no
We're
United
ethnicity.
an
States.
ethnicity.
There's no like central ethnicity in the United States. Like it's full of
This is.
immigrants. It's full of people who've come
No,
from
well,
all
no,
over.
no, 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 no.
Bro,
He need a lesson.
The ethnicity, and then we're gonna move on because you keep asking a bunch of
Yeah.
questions and we're
I
not
was like,
we're not
okay,
really
okay, all
advancing
right.
the conversation. The thing is that the ethnicity belongs to the people who built the country. That's how ethnicities work all around the world. The ethnicity is rooted and centered around the builders of the country. Everywhere in the world, that's the case. So the ethnicity of America is centered around the builders of America. We are the builders of America. Everywhere, if you want to say no, that's not true. Yes, that is true. That's true
You
because
just made that up.
everywhere in the world, that's been the case, and that's respected everywhere in the world. We're not gonna come to America and then start changing the rules. Y'all only want to change the rules when we step in the room. We're not doing that. Okay, so we are foundational Black American. Okay, we are, and this is our ethnicity. This is our lineage. Okay, you have your ethnicity and you have your lineage. Be proud of that. Okay,
What is your Somali
nobody's trying to
yeah,
lineage?
sit there
not,
and
No,
blow
I
you,
am proud
but
of that. But my
you want to
nationality is
double
American.
dip. No, you want to double dip, and you want to be all like, "Well, I'm not an immigrant," but you are your ethnicity is not from America.
Hey,
So you are an immigrant.
You're
Yeah, you just
host,
said that. You are
ethnically
an
What is your
host,
African.
ethnicity?
host,
You're
host. I
you're a
people
believe
first
you
who
say
came
generation
from the continent
immigrant,
of
dude.
What's
Africa.
your Somali ethnicity? What is it? What's it called?
it's
You
Somalian.
just said it, genius.
What is your Somali ethnicity? Don't you have one? Do they have different tribes in Somalia? What is
Nah, I don't
yours?
go into that. I don't go into that. I
Yeah,
don't
see,
deal
this
with
is what we're
tribes.
talking about. You want people to know who you really are.
I
Anyway, thanks.
I said who I
Is it,
am.
The thing is,
I
what
even
is
know
your
who
even
I am.
even if
ethnicity?
we
What's your ethnicity?
I just told you my ethnicity.
You say that
we
you're a
didn't hear it,
Somalian,
we
but
didn't
you
hear
have
it,
an
dude.
ethnicity.
Why are you ashamed? Don't be ashamed, dude. Now,
I'm not an immigrant. Nobody's ashamed to be
Yeah,
Confusing
here.
you are. You don't have any lineage
nationality.
here.
okay.
He's
Well, if that's
confusing
the
I
case, then
have
nationality.
we're just
just
gonna move
as
on past
rights to America as any Asian
If we
America has to the
delineate
Okay,
from
United
hold on,
you,
States.
hold on, hold
you
on,
won't be
hold
able to
on,
have any
y'all.
rights.
Okay,
I do because I
right.
don't have all night to be on, and we really don't have time for grandstanding. We got people who haven't spoken yet,
Yeah.
whatever the case is, and he's acting
Okay.
dense, like he doesn't understand what we're saying.
He's acting obtuse. Now, if we delineate from these people and all the rights that he says he got is only because of us, him being a so-called black immigrant in this country and all the freedoms he gets up there in Minnesota, wherever he's from, is specifically because of black Americans. And this is why they don't want us to delineate. Because if we delineate and we have our own lineage-based policies,
I
people like
would,
him get nothing because
I
they
would,
have
and
never
with
proved
that
it.
being said,
No,
that's
no,
why I say they already know he
that
is
that,
here.
that you know
He
what's
is
funny
here in the
is
USA. He is
he's
here in the
here. Hold on, let
USA.
me say this.
Tell
Let
Go
me
me he
say
ahead.
don't
this.
Go
know.
ahead,
Then we're
Afro.
gonna let Twan go. Then genuine, and then we're gonna get to not fabulous,
My
not
choice.
famous. Okay,
Your
bye.
choice wrong. I
So we're
gotta
gonna
change
get
it.
to those three, and then we're gonna get up top. Okay. So let me say this though, right? He first came in and he asked, "Well, what is cosplaying? What are you guys talking about?" And what did I give? Examples. I gave examples of about when immigrants come over here and then they do things and try to hide the fact that they're immigrants. When I asked him where he's from, he didn't really want to say where he was from, to be honest. He really didn't want to say where he was from. I had to really ask a bunch of follow-up questions about
There
where
was a
he's from.
reason
He
though,
didn't
like
hold on. He didn't want to say where he was from. I asked a few follow-up questions. Now he's not claiming to be an immigrant. Okay. And this is the example of cosplaying because you're not from here. Your lineage isn't from here. Okay. You're a first generation immigrant. Y'all really just got here a generation ago. And he sounds young, so it ain't even been that long, even if he was born here. But yet they don't want to claim to be foreigners. And this is what we're saying. Y'all want to come in and then kind of hide the fact that you're not from here. This is the issue that we're having. Why do y'all do that unless you guys have nefarious intentions?
Yeah. I'll just land with this.
Let's let Twan go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for allowing me to speak. I'll just land with this. This
Go
is,
ahead.
like I said before, why they are threatened by the delineation of Black Americans, because our ancestors have actually earned all of this stuff that these people come here and piggyback off of.
Mm-hmm.
Thus, if we delineate from these people and have our own specific lineage-based policies, they don't have anything to eat off of. This is why they
Yep.
got mad that Donald Trump said that the 14th Amendment was only for the descendants of American slaves. These people are butthurt about that because some of them, I don't know how many, if it's true, really believe that we were immigrants or something. I don't know. They just thought we were just sitting around here for hundreds of years. But
Mm-hmm.
that is specifically for us. And them coming here having their children, which that Somalian person is probably a beneficiary of, is something that he wasn't supposed to even get. And
Yep.
he has a problem understanding that just because he's born here doesn't change his ethnic identity or his lineage. He doesn't
Yeah.
have any here, and he
Yeah.
comes from an immigrant background. So him saying he's not an immigrant does not change the fact that he actually will always be an immigrant because that's his lineage. It's in Somalia. And I asked him what was his ethnic identity in Somalia because they have
I'm
all.
gonna tell you all
Can
in
you
the
can you
If
comments.
you don't be quiet, because if you come off your mic one more time, I'm gonna drop you, and you're not gonna be able to speak. Wait your turn.
And when I asked him what his ethnic identity was in Somalia, which he knows, he didn't want to tell me.
Yeah,
So,
we asked a
everything
few
you're
times,
saying
and
is
he's like,
absolutely
"I'm not
true.
saying it. I'm not saying." He might have said it under his breath one time, but then he didn't want to say it when we asked multiple
Yeah.
times.
So thank you, Afro League.
So
Thank you
yeah,
for the
thank you, brother.
room.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now before we get to genuine, Valley, you said we've lost everybody. What does that mean? Real quick.
No, I really meant to say you've allowed everyone to speak, but I'm gonna respect the panel and patiently wait. Then, whenever you allow me to speak, I'll speak. I'll just whatever I have to say, I'll respectfully say it in the comment, and if you see it, and you good. If you don't, you don't. I just want to be respectful. But I do feel like I'm the best individual to speak on this because I am from, based on ethnicity, I will be African.
Where at in Africa?
Oh.
Okay. All right. Genuine pros.
Yeah, how you doing, guys? Um,
How you
you hearing
doing?
me?
Yep.
I
All right.
hear.
So I am Jamaican. I was born there. Um, I
Okay.
went through the whole process of becoming a United States citizen.
Hmm.
I got a visa to come here, which means I came here legally. Whatever. Um, I have one question.
Yeah.
Well, not one question, but the first question I want to start off with: does the FBA differentiate themselves from Black American?
No. Same thing.
Okay, cool. Um, well, I'll say this. Like with every group of people, the ones that are the loudest normally get mistaken for the actual behavior or the actual characteristics of a set of people. I don't know if do you agree with that?
I don't know what that means. No,
What
not
that
really.
means when
I'm African American,
If
but
you
I
don't
have
be quiet, little
education.
girl. Okay, I told you before. You keep coming off your mic and interjecting. Stop doing that. Okay, what were you saying?
so an example, you'd see, say for instance, a Jamaican that's very disrespectful. Not knowing much Jamaicans are not knowing the ones that are not attention seekers. You probably say, oh, Jamaicans are all disrespectful, right? That's just an example. So the
Okay.
same will go for saying someone who is entitled, such the like. The point I'm trying to make is, as a Jamaican, knowing a lot of Jamaicans who migrated here
Mm-hmm.
in whichever way they did, we don't claim to be American. Everybody,
Anecdotally.
huh?
You should speak anecdotally because there's other Jamaicans who come up here and say they Black American. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
use it
And
based on
yeah,
they use it. Give me a
I'm not
second.
really sure what your point, what you're trying to say.
No,
So let's.
I'm trying to answer what she said just now. So just like a lot of immigrants, they use it having a different meaning from, let's say, the FBA. So they're saying it because they're black and they're by law Americans. So they're not saying it because they want to tie their ethnicity to yours. Because if you notice,
Yeah.
most people who
I
come
got you.
from other
Okay,
ethnic
what is your
are
point about the
always
prompt, sir?
slowly.
Because I'm gonna be honest. You're
No, what I'm saying, allow me to finish. What I'm saying is they will say it based on the fact that they
okay.
not on the
We
fact
get
that
that.
they
We
are
get what you just
FBA.
said. We get your response. So what is your response to the prompt? Okay,
Um,
because you're taking a long
you
time.
being a lineage, I have no problem with you being a lineage. Everybody has the right to claim their own lineage.
Okay.
I just want to say that I don't think most of these countries want to be disrespectful or hateful towards you. I think everybody has an input and can help each other to grow. So just the way a lot of stuff was achieved by the FBA, I think a lot of stuff was achieved by other countries being here and their descendants who were born here or somehow legally able to gain access to the government here. I think we all have a part to play, and I don't get why I feel some sort of hostility against other nationalities. Of course, there are ones that will make you look bad because people, when you're black, just like you said about the Asians, when you're black, no matter where you're from, people will
Okay, let me answer that question.
take you
Let
from
me, let me answer
other
that question
other
because you said it was a question, and you haven't framed it as a question. So, but I'm gonna frame the question and answer it. All right. The same thing that happens with the police. Okay. Are all police these evil anti-black villains? Probably not. No.
no,
No.
that's the same
You
thing I'm saying. Most
you
of them
got
are.
some. You got some who are not. Let's say most are not like that. But the thing is that there are too many who are, and those too many who are go unaddressed. Okay, and those too many who are unregulated by the rest of the group. So are we saying every single person who has a badge is a damn psychopath, an anti-black psychopath? Nobody's making that argument. But we're saying is the ones who do don't get addressed or called out and actually get defended by the ones who claim they aren't. And this is our issue when it comes to a lot of foreigners, okay? Are we trying to generalize and say every single last one of y'all are like Candace Owens? No. But the thing is that we're running into too many of you guys, and you guys culturally are not pulling them to the side or calling them out. You're not doing anything to stop that behavior. Stop your wild cards from wilding out. You're not doing anything. All right. So the logical response is to assume that you're not doing anything either because number one, you agree, or number two, you don't care. It's either one. It has to be either one of those things. Either y'all secretly agree or you don't care. It's either one of those. Either way, the problem is on our shoulders to fix at this point. Okay. So that is what it is. So now we have to make the most logical response.
Okay, so you're saying you want to separate yourself from all other nationalities
Yep,
or
yep, we
ethnicities?
should.
There's a
As everybody else separates themselves from all nationalities. And right
don't
now,
respond, genuine.
what we're saying is that we should not blindly pretend that everybody is on board because that's what we used to do. We've been
No.
blindly assuming
Wait,
and
wait, genuine.
pretending that everybody's been on this kumbaya pro-black that everybody ain't been on. So yeah.
One second.
Actually, I'm going to tell you
One second.
one moment, genuine. 1 minute, genuine. I'm going to tell you what I'm noticing about them, the ones who say they're Black American. We go by race, ethnicity, nationality. They're purposely omitting ethnic group, right? They're purposely doing it. Because their race is Black and their nationality was that they're born here, so they're a Black person in America, but they're not respecting our ethnic group when they used to, all the time. You could never get a Jamaican, since you're Jamaican, talking up here about the Jamaicans who identify as Black American. You say, oh, you Black? No, I'm Jamaican. You know what I'm saying? They stood on their ethnicity. They stood on their lineage. Now they're purposely omitting that and just doing race and nationality. We're not doing that, sir. And he just said it. Oh, so you want to separate from all nationalities? Yeah, y'all doing that on purpose. Y'all get it.
Well,
Y'all
I'm not
have to
trying
get
to.
it.
Okay, we answered your question.
I'm not trying
I
to.
told you
Sir,
they know.
we answered your question. It's past 1 o'clock in the morning. We already got off like a 4-hour space. We're not gonna do that. We answered your question, so we're gonna move on to the next speaker. All right. Okay. Let's get to not famous by choice. A lot of people in the chat room were saying you're from Africa. Where in Africa is your lineage from?
I'm from African American America.
Well, damn, I'd never heard of that. Where's that from? Because the chat
Well,
room
that's my
probably
ethnicity. You already know by the way I'm speaking. I'm from there. Come on now.
no, because I'm saying that the chat room is saying something, so maybe they've seen you in another live or know
Yeah,
of
they
you from
have. They
someplace
have.
else.
They have. They have.
So
They have. They have.
okay, so they're saying that you are African and you're not FBA. Which if
I
now,
have.
so
I
if
have
that's the case,
lineage. I have lineage. Yes.
okay, where's your African lineage from?
My grandmother was born in Mississippi.
That is there an African country called Mississippi? Why is it like pulling teeth out of y'all mouth? It's not that hard.
But look at me, like you could tell.
I really,
That
man,
ain't true, because you looking a little African to me.
ma'am,
I
I
gotta tell
can't.
you.
First off, even if you did, even if you look like a full Black American, that don't mean you are. Okay, I can't tell. Just say where you
That's
from.
crazy. I have to
Why,
prove
ma'am? Why are
prove
you
that I
being?
live
Look,
that
I
I
want
live
y'all to
in
understand.
America. That's
They
crazy.
say, hold on. They say cosplaying. What cosplay? I don't know what cosplay you talk. We don't be trying to
Because
cosplay. We don't be trying to do that.
I
And then
embrace
when I ask you, hold on, and
cultures.
then stop, hold on. Would
That's
they be
crazy.
stop? When I'm all like cosplaying, we don't even be trying to cosplay.
So who am
We
I
don't be trying to blend in. And
cosplaying
then I
then?
say, okay, well, where are you from? Well,
Who
I
am
don't
I
really want to say where
cosplaying
I'm from.
then?
Where are you from, ma'am? Damn.
I'm from St. Louis.
Where's your lineage from?
I just told you,
No, you didn't. You said Mississippi.
America.
Okay, so you are a descendant of foundational Black Americans. Is what?
Yes, I told you that. You was
Okay,
trying to make me
there's a
prove
lot of
myself
people
when
in
I
the
told
chat
you the
room.
truth.
Hold on, ma'am. There's a lot of people in the chat room that say that you're lying, and some people are saying that you're Liberian. But let's say, okay,
They
because
can't
you didn't
prove that
answer
though.
very
I can
genuinely.
prove I'm from where I'm from, and
Okay,
that's
all right,
America.
okay.
I'm
So
not
you're
cosplaying
saying
What
anything.
about Mississippi?
you're FBA. Both
Ask me
parents are
questions to
FBA.
prove so I can prove myself. Like
No, you're
I
saying both.
like
Ma'am, I'm asking a question. And if you would have answered it straight up, we wouldn't even be still talking about this. You're saying both of your parents are FBA, right?
yes.
Oh,
What's your stance on the prompt? We're not even gonna do this all night. What's your stance on the prompt then?
I don't even know why this organization. I get the idea of why it was trying to get started up, but I feel like it's gonna fail because of
Why
some
what's gonna
top.
fail? Our lineage is gonna fail?
No, the meaning of FBA.
That's a lineage.
Yeah, but then you got origination. It's a whole bunch of words in a sentence. When you depict
Ordination.
every
Where
word,
I don't even know what that word means. And that's not in the what do you
but FBA, what does that stand for? When you depict,
there's right here, foundational Black American.
yeah, yeah, but it's more to that.
What more is there?
To explain it to her.
What more is
Yes,
there? Hold on,
yes.
because you're trying to tell us there's more to it. So what more is there?
It becomes an issue when people think that I am African when I'm not, and I'm in panels.
Okay, well, why don't you tell them you're FBA then?
Because I feel like black is like it's a it's a it's a messed up term that we got given by white supremacy. So it's like,
Okay.
why do we keep on trying to
Who gave
continue
us
that?
African
Hold on.
American?
Yeah, what should we be called then? What do you think we should be called?
I think that we're tired, but we
You know what? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I feel
No,
like
it's okay. You said I don't know if you're even old enough to be on this phone right now. It sounds like it's way past your bedtime. I'm not trying to be funny. It sounds like
you've been up yeah,
I know I've been, but
you
I'm an
was up
adult, so
yesterday
you know you
doing a
can't
panel.
really
You was up today.
don't do. I'm gonna tell your parents
You the
on you.
one
Don't
who's
do that. Come
tired.
on now. That's why you talking so low. You're under your bed on the phone. Your parents don't know you got school in the morning, young lady. I
I
didn't
have
mean to
my own
slap off
apartment.
on you.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
come
That's
on now.
crazy.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm gonna start counting
That's
sheep and you're gonna
crazy.
fall
That's
asleep
crazy.
on
I have
the
a whole
phone.
job. Go look at my TikTok
Come on,
while you wanna
ma'am. Come on
talk
now.
stuff and stuff.
You
Yeah,
got
go look at
school
my
in the
TikTok.
morning. You got school in the
No,
morning.
no, I don't.
You
No, I
need to
don't.
make sure
I'm
all
not
your
gonna
Hello
argue with
Kitty
somebody that
pencils
doesn't
and
even
papers
understand,
are up in
that
there.
doesn't
your
understand
Okay,
the
grandma
big
from
ready to go to
picture
school,
Mississippi
ma'am.
of.
Hold
is
on now.
there.
Don't do that because you just stop. Okay, because if I tell your mama you're up, she gonna get upset. Don't do that. Okay, I don't want to snitch on you.
Tell her,
I got young sisters and cousins and stuff
tell
like
her,
that in
tell
my
her.
family. I'm not trying to do that. I'm like big bro. I'm trying to help you out, okay? But this past you sound tired. You sound sleepy.
All right. Well,
You got school in the
in the
morning.
future,
It's
remember
okay.
I spoke to you. Okay.
Just listen to the playback, okay?
In the future, remember I spoke to you. Okay.
All right, young lady. You have a good night then. All right. And
You
you do
too.
good in school. All right. Okay. Go
You
ahead.
educate yourself too,
Good
cause
night.
you gonna have to do that a
Good
lot
night,
in
young
life.
lady. All right. I ain't trying to tell on you now, but come on now. She just want to be a part of grown folk conversation. It's okay, y'all. It's okay. But just let them be a kid.
Grandma from Mississippi. No,
It's
no.
it's okay. It's okay, Captain. It ain't adding up. It's okay.
Hey, bro,
You're not even supposed to be on.
can I say
Parent,
something
come on now.
quickly?
Hold on, no, because there's other people who need to speak. It's okay. But you know what I'm saying. This is why grown folk got to have grown folk conversation. There's a reason it was a grown table and a kiddie table. And no disrespect. I'm sure you're gonna grow to be a very intelligent young woman. All right. No disrespect. Okay. Let's get to Valley, and then we're gonna get to let me tell it.
I'm gonna speak on the whole FBA thing based on the standards that you have, because I've been following the panel. Because I have my own personal standards that what I believe based on what you're advocating, that FBA is almost like a subgroup of America, and it's identifying the individuals of the race of Black individuals that are in America to be FBAs, foundational Black Americans. That's what I'm comprehending from what you're
A
delivering.
subgroup of America. No, this is just a
Americans,
lineage. It's a ethnic group. I
right?
mean, y'all acting like that's a new thing. I don't know why. Okay, it's an ethnic group of people, a lineage of people. Yeah, our own ethnicity. Yes.
The only reason I'm saying that is because based on nationalities, you guys still are Americans.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? That's what I'm saying. America. I'm sorry,
Okay.
DX.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to upset. The reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is because it is the delivery is given almost as if it's a form of division. The
I
reason
mean,
why
it is. It is.
oh
The thing is that all division is not bad. Let's be
correct.
honest. This is what you call division is just specificity. We're just specifying that the two things are not the same.
I will
Is
agree with
that
I will agree with
divisive?
that.
It is divisive. Yes, it is divisive, but you can't act like everything is together when it's not. It's a necessary and positive division. Okay? It's just specifying that we have a different and unique ethnicity. Okay? Not to undermine anybody else's history or culture. Nobody's doing that. But the same way you from Congo, your ethnicity can be respected is the same way our ethnicity can be respected. Nobody's saying you're a subgroup of Africa. We're not a subgroup of America. You're Congolese and we're FBA. You see, I mean, it's that simple.
Right. So
Went to nationality. After I explained what they were doing, you were sitting right there. I said they're doing it on purpose, and then here you come. Nationalities. We're not going off of nationalities, sir. We're going off our ethnic group, our lineage. That's
okay.
why I said, because it's not hard to understand, sir. It's not.
I completely understand BX, and I apologize if you feel
Thank
like I
you.
didn't properly comprehend what you was initially stating. Now, if we're going based off ethnicity, and I'm speaking in regards to Twan, and he's stating that there is no contributions to initially what the individuals contributed here. From my understanding
I don't
is
recall him saying that.
he stated to the young man that was speaking earlier that there was no contributions from other individuals in regards of immigrations or liberations or anything like that.
I don't recall him saying that there were no contributions to him. I don't recall him saying
Okay,
that.
so maybe I interpreted it wrong
What
then.
I said, excuse me, I'm sorry. What I said was that the civil rights that you all get here and benefit from is because of what our ancestors have had to work for and earn. The freedom, being able to go to schools, being able to get jobs, be able to walk down the street freely. That's because of what our ancestors have done. So Black American delineation, and if we take all of those gains that we've earned in this country and it only benefits our specific ethnic group, then you're really going to have to work hard because that stuff will be only for us. Just like the 14th Amendment is supposed to be only for us. It's not supposed to benefit you or your children. You're not supposed to be able to come over here and have your children and then they are citizens. That's specifically for our ethnic group. So if you want to work hard and say that you've done this and that, then when you come over here, you're going to have to start from the bottom and not piggybacking off of what we've earned. Now, I'm not saying that when you come here, you don't, do your own specific thing, but this country was built by the descendants of American slaves. And let me make this one last point. The Statue of Liberty, for all their smart talk, was given to the United States by the French to celebrate the end of the Civil War. They took that from us and made it about white immigrants from the slums of Ireland and Italy. That's supposed to be for Black Americans and Black Americans only. So they continue to take stuff that's supposed to be for us and give it to everybody else so that they'll feel included. The Statue of Liberty itself is supposed to be for Black Americans celebrating the end of the Civil War, not immigrants. So what I'm saying is that when you guys come over here and get all of this stuff and you live free and stuff, that's because of us. That's because of what we've had to work for. And a lot of people don't really get that. They don't know our history in this country enough to know that our ancestors have had to earn this stuff. And they didn't just get stuff from white people.
All right.
That's all I have to say. Thank
All
you.
right, so he
my
answered your question, so that's good.
No, he did not, brother. My question to him would be: is he familiar with Nat Turner?
I'm sure he is, but what does that have to do with
What I'm saying? If you follow the story of Nat Turner and how he because I've heard this FBA term from Tariq Nasheed, and I follow Tariq Nasheed. Some of the stuff that he said, the rhetoric that he has is correct. He's from his standpoint, and what my understanding is that the story of Nat Turner and how he got the catapult to that was from the Haiti Revolution for Toussaint Louverture.
Okay, I have not heard.
Have you ever read the story of the Fire of the Jubilee?
I've not heard of that.
Okay.
You said the what? The who? Who did you just say?
I believe it's called the Fire of the Jubilee. The book. It's a book called The Fire of the Jubilee.
I've heard of that.
Yes.
I have heard that. Okay, let me ask you, do you not think, do y'all like, and this is like y'all really are self-absorbed, and I'm not trying to even be funny or
No, I don't put words
but
with
do
emotions.
y'all honestly not think that there were any revolutions in America before 1804? Do y'all think that we looked at
whitewash this
ma'am?
crazy?
And now, come on, now you need to be asleep, okay? You need to go to the kitchen and drink you some milk and count some sheep and go to sleep, cause you're gonna be drowsy in the morning. Don't do that. Don't do. And I ain't even trying to be disrespectful to you, but come on, young lady. We are adults speaking, and you've been being disrespectful the whole time, and I ain't really gone off on you, okay? Because I don't want the younger generation to hate their elders, but don't do that, okay? That's disrespectful, okay? But going back to what we were saying, do you not know that there were revolutions years prior, decades prior to 1804? Do y'all think that we looked at Haiti and was all like, hey, that revolution thing, that seemed like a good idea. Let's start doing that. Do y'all think nobody was doing that before Haiti? Like, what, huh? Yeah, just because there were revolutions after Haiti doesn't mean that the concept of revolutions started in Haiti. Where y'all getting that from?
I never said it that the concept of
Okay, so why you're trying to take Nat Turner's revolution and take some of the credit and give it to Haiti, where Haiti doesn't deserve any of the credit for Nat Turner's revolution? What do you think? Nat Turner was looking up the Haitian Revolution as a slave in America, where you couldn't read or write? You couldn't read or write. So how was Nat Turner gonna get inspiration from a revolution on another continent?
Oh, he got
decades ago.
They got an email through a tree.
Yeah. Like, what did they do? Send smoke signals or whatever? They had revolutions because Black Americans had already had revolutions the entire time since slavery. Y'all are desperately trying to make it seem like Haiti was a bigger and nobody's trying to dismiss 1804. I'm not. I swear to God, I'm not. Okay, I have nothing but love and respect for 1804. But I wish y'all would stop doing that, because it puts a bad taste in people's mouth when y'all do that, even about 1804. Because now you guys are trying to take an inch and turn it into a mile. What you're bringing on? What Nat Turner in 1804? Nat Turner and John Dessalines are not connected. They're not connected, brother.
They don't know our history. That's the
Okay,
problem. They don't know. They don't know our
with that
history.
Don't
being
forget
said,
the Lageechee. Don't forget the Seminoles.
right, those were all
What are we
after.
doing at that point? Come
Those were
on.
all after. I'm familiar with the Gulag Wars. Those were
Okay,
all
well, what
after.
about the ones before then?
So that's what I'm asking you, brother. You stated that it was revolutions before 1804 that happened here to the Americans and the slaves that was here. Can you give me one so I can do my due diligence?
You know what?
Because I
Okay, so
don't
you
know.
can do your due diligence. I will say there's one of my brothers on YouTube, Torian Rain. Shout out to Torian. Torian has a whole playlist of revolutions, okay, stemming back from the 1500s on this soil. Okay, so he has a whole playlist of different videos where he breaks down different American revolutions, and you got some hundreds of years prior to 1804. So you can go to Torian Rain Reloaded on YouTube, and you can go to his playlist, and you can list them all down there. All right. So
No
yeah,
problem.
that's your
No
source.
problem. I'll gladly do that. But that's in reference to Black America.
The
Yeah,
bacon
yeah,
is one
that's
as
that's
well.
the U.S. slavery, the rebellion against or in the United States, or the land that would become, because we were rebelling even before America existed. Okay,
Absolutely.
so we got revolutions even before America was even America. Okay, and this isn't to take away from 1804, but you guys are trying to put 1804 in a position that it doesn't belong.
Okay.
All right. So let's get to
Oh, Congolese. What did Congolese do for the United States of America? Why are you putting Haiti and stuff? This is why we say stick to your country and speak on your country only.
We're speaking in regards to ethnicity, not in regards of
You got
nationality.
it all messed up because you go into nationality and you skipping over ethnicity. So I'm gonna give you another one to research too, because I'm very proud of my ancestors here in New York. New York Slave Revolt of 1712. Look it up. And then after that, we had Stonewall Rebellion and all that stuff there. We've
Go ahead,
always been
please.
revolting, sir. And what do you expect Haiti to do? They outnumbered the colonizers, just like the continent of Africa is 80% African and 20% colonizer. But y'all can't seem to get it together.
No,
But you're over here dissecting us.
that's
Go
false.
dissect
okay.
yourself.
We're gonna
Please go ahead, Queen.
dude.
Please.
You're not gonna grandstand like that, man.
I'm not
Okay,
doing that.
because
She
you
said she
already
wanted to.
came up. You asked a couple questions. We answered your questions. Now we're gonna move on.
She stated that she wanted to give me a reference point for me
Okay.
to look up.
When
That's why I'm.
BX gives you the reference point, then because you keep talking. When BX gives you the reference point, then we're gonna move on. All right.
Yes. New York Slave Revolt of 1712. And you can also look up Stonewall Rebellion. Okay?
All right.
Those are the 1700s.
Ones to me because I'm only looking for the ones prior to 1804. That's all.
Yeah, those are
Hello? I
prior to
said
1804. He
1712.
gave you the date, dude.
I said 1712.
Okay.
And after that was Stonewall
Okay, and you're
Rebellion. I
being
said it's
passive aggressive.
1730 or 1739.
Yeah, you're
Cut it
being
out.
passive aggressive because what you want to do is you want to give credit to 1804 and for something that happened in America, and you can't do that because we know our history too well for that. And
If
that
I
if you were on another live and people didn't know their history that well, then maybe you could get away with that. But over here, we know our history way too well for you guys to get away with that.
You didn't give me anything in regards
From
to
the north to
you
the
gave me
south.
somebody else to go
We
look up.
literally gave you. First off, I gave you a place where you can find dozens of different situations. And
Correct.
BX just gave you a rebellion that happened.
Prior to
And
1805.
okay, if you don't know math and you don't know that the 1700s came before the 1800s, we're gonna move on. Y'all really
Y'all do this to
The bacon rebellion
yourself.
y'all
was in the
sleepy as hell.
1600s.
Okay, he was all like, so okay, the one that happened in 1704, did that happen before 1804? Yes, that happened before 1804. Okay, if you don't know that 17 comes before 18, I don't know what to tell you. I don't. God. Okay.
But then let's say I'm still trying to figure out. Okay, what did it accomplish in Haiti?
What did what accomplish in Haiti?
They keep talking about 1804, 1804, but look at Haiti now.
Yeah, yeah.
Never talk about. They never talk about what happened 1804 until 1915 when the United States came in because they was busy going back with the Dominicans. And I sat right in the live and watched the Haitians and the Dominicans talk, and they were talking respectfully about it. And you know what I don't do? Get up here and tell them how they lost to the Dominicans, how they basically turned on Destiny. Like I don't get up here and I give them 1804. I allowed them that moment in history to stand on. But every time I turn around, it's somebody else coming for us. And I know there's no Haitian on here right now, unless those are Haitian there because of the name. But they go around talking about the Creoles. They the real Creoles. And the West Africans going around talking about they're full African and we're mixed and we're this and we're... Everybody's paying attention to us instead of what they're really supposed to be paying attention to, and that's their homeland. They are predominantly black nations. We rooting for y'all, but y'all busy over here dissecting us. And it's just
No facts.
aggravating
And the
at this
thing
point in
is that
time.
because 1804 is such an honorable moment in history as far as fighting back against oppression, which generally we just have a lot of respect for, whether that happens in America or whether that happens outside of America. We don't try to disparage or belittle 1804. But at this point, you guys are trying to, you guys are milking 1804 too damn much. Y'all are trying to do too much with it, okay? Because we're not trying to disparage that or the revolution and the sacrifice, because we have a lot of respect for that. But now you guys are trying to say that deserves some type of credit of what we did over here, and we like, well, hold on, now you're doing too much. And now what you guys are doing is it's gonna make a lot of people kind of side eye 1804, and it doesn't have to be that way. If y'all would stop trying to place 1804 in a position it doesn't belong in. 1804 is not the reason there were revolutions around the world. It was not. It wasn't the reason we left slavery. It was not. It was like, stop. All right.
And I'm tired of the disrespect of that because we constantly hear that, man, and we don't got nothing against Haiti. Like bro said, we for everybody that's fighting for their revolution, everybody that's fighting for their freedom, everybody that's fighting for their rights. We for that. We for everybody from Africa to Haiti to Brazil to South Africa, wherever. Even the black folks in Mexico, man. Bruh, we even spoke up for black folks in Mexico. Come on, man. I'm saying though, man, just no, man. We respect Haitian, but y'all need, like bro said, y'all need to stop that. We're hearing too much of it, entirely too much on podcasts, on TikTok, YouTube, everywhere. Quit spreading that false narrative, man. We don't want no bad blood with y'all and none of that above, but y'all, hey, we getting tired now, and I'm one of them.
And it's not like y'all doing that to rally other Haitians. That's the crazy thing. It's not like y'all doing that to light a fire in Haitians. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say let me tell it. I'm gonna let you go ahead. I appreciate your patience, sister, but it's not like y'all doing that. Y'all keep trying to do that so y'all can have some type of authority to speak on revolutions, or y'all want some type of valor for our ancestry. Y'all keep doing that because y'all want to take some type of credit or receive some type of credit or something like that for what we did on this land, on another continent. That, do you know that Haiti isn't even connected to the North American continent? Y'all want credit for a revolution that happened on a different continent. Okay, come on. Stop that. Stop. It comes off very desperate. That's very desperate. Don't do that. All right. Let's get to let me tell it.
Hi, Afro Elite.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
That's good. I am unapologetically Black American. And I am new to TikTok, so I don't know how everything works. So excuse me if I use words that aren't supposed to be used on here. I personally believe that any immigrant group that comes over to the United States has like this unwritten contract with YT America for them to have this anti-Black American sentiment in order for them to come over here and exploit us. But I feel like the Africans are uniquely positioned because they can pass for us. So what's happening is YT America is trying to flatten our ethnic group and make us absorb these people. And I am in real life concerned about us. I'm glad I ran across these conversations online. However, in the real world, what I'm watching this administration do, I'm very concerned about us and these immigrants who have become citizens usually identify with YT America, so they vote with them, and they have given them the votes to be able to basically neuter our civil rights, what our grandparents fought for. So I guess what I'm wondering is, I saw something earlier today on TikTok where a lady said that TikTok was going to be, I guess it was sold off to Zuckerberg. And so I think this format is supposed to shut down sometime in September. And I feel like we need to be organized and delineating ASAP and focusing on ourselves. I really don't understand, like, these conversations going back and forth with the Africans are entertaining, but I don't necessarily know that they are productive. So I'm not really understanding what the point of even trying to explain anything to them is. Because of course they don't want us to delineate, because that's how they eat off of us. If we delineate, they wouldn't be able to get all of the benefits they've been getting. So I guess I'm trying to figure out what is the point of arguing with them instead of just focusing on ourselves and trying to get ourselves together.
Well, the point is necessarily speaking truth to power, which you're going to have to consistently do, because that is how you are able to stamp the message in the narrative and to bring awareness, okay? Because the thing is that we can't assume that everybody, like you said, you feel as if immigrants come over here with a secret agenda from YT supremacy. Everybody doesn't feel that way or know that. So we can't just assume that we all have the same level of knowledge. So there's consistent conversations that need to be brought up, not only for our lineage to be advocated for and it to stay relevant, but for more people to learn about the conversation and the severity of the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because there were certain things, I'm not going to lie, there's certain speakers who've come up here and said things that I didn't know about. And then there are certain people who listen and we say things that the audience don't know about. So this can be very educational for a lot of people as well, too. It also goes to give us clarity in the narrative, because you have a lot of people who try to spin our narrative as being xenophobic, being hateful and divisive. Now, when I allow an African or Caribbean to come up and say their spiel or whatever the case is and talk and have a respectful conversation, that defeats the narrative that we all hate Africans or whatever. When we have an intellectual and mature and fact-based back and forth, then that will defeat the narrative that they're trying to spew, that FBA is an organization and we're some type of hate group that works against Africa, okay? Which is what a lot of them are trying to say. You know, it's not necessarily trying to change their minds, but this is for a lot of people, because this is going to age well. This is for a lot of people who are going to say like, oh no, I mean, They have tried to be mature. They have tried to engage with you guys. They have tried to educate you guys, but you guys don't listen. So then when we stop having these conversations and these receipts, we can always go back and say, "Oh no, we tried to have the conversation with you guys. We tried to talk to you guys, and you guys weren't listening." So it's beneficial in different ways.
So are you expecting them to concede?
No, not no. And this isn't the intention of that.
Okay.
No.
How do we move forward? How do we move forward to actually help ourselves? Because I'm looking at like the things that this administration have done. And I'm not sure how many people know. Most of the time when I talk to other Black Americans, they're not aware that when the amendments first came out, the intention was to give us states and federal rights. But when the case went, when some white people took it to court, the Supreme Court had ruled that the language, and I believe it might have been the 14th Amendment, didn't go far enough to give us states' rights. So this is why we don't get treated the same as white people. We do not have Black people, the descendants, do not have states' rights. We have federal rights up under the civil government, up under the federal government. So this is why when, let's say it's a brutality case, we can go and have recourse up under the federal government because that's all we have. But just recently, the administration through the DOJ said that they would no longer focus on cases brought up of discrimination, brutality, harassment, or anything like that dealing with us. And they said they are pivoting and focusing all of their energy on cases that's against white Christians.
Okay. Well, I mean, well, yeah, we already know there's a lot of nonsense with the DOJ. That's very true. But the thing is that our state nor our federal rights have been acknowledged, okay, and respected under this country. We had the situation with Emmett Till, or Carolyn Bryant, I mean. We had the situation where Carolyn Bryant, and people were saying that Carolyn Bryant needs to be charged with federal hate crimes. And the federal government under the previous administration, under the Biden administration, did not charge Carolyn Bryant, who was alive and in her right mind, to be charged with federal hate crimes. The Biden administration did not want to charge Carolyn Bryant with the federal hate crimes. So you know what I'm saying? It's not our rights get ignored and dismissed, whether they're a federal government or state government, by both the Democratic and Republican Party. And we do need to speak on that. And we can have multiple conversations about multiple things as well, too.
But what I'm saying is right now we don't really have it. The DOJ enforces those rights. So since they said they're not going to enforce it, basically we don't have any civil rights at this moment. So we don't have.
Well, we have the DOJ said they're not going to enforce civil rights.
For us, you can look it up.
So the DOJ said that they're not going to enforce civil rights for Black Americans?
For Black people, anything that's coming through that's harassment, discrimination, the DOJ is who enforces when those things happen. If you look it up, they specifically just said, I think it's been within the last 2 or 3 weeks, that they're no longer going to pursue those cases. They're only going to pursue what? So if you have nobody to enforce it, you technically don't have them.
Okay, so hold on, right there. Wait, no, Deborah. I'm going to ask Afro a question. So she must be talking about the civil rights of 1965, right? But what about the civil rights that we obtained under 1866? When they established the freedmen, right? Because isn't that our protective status, Afro?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we of the lineage who know that we are freemen descendants, we got ways to force them to do things for us. I'm not going to be fair-mongered about the DOJ said they ain't doing this and they ain't doing that. And when we have a whole nother classification and we up here arguing about African-American, Black American, and foundational Black American ADOS and stuff, we're freedmen. Mm-hmm. We're freemen descendants. Mm-hmm. Get your lineage verified. Do your genealogy, and maybe you won't feel anxious.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not trying to fearmonger, but I am trying to say I feel like there's some other things that we could be focusing on to help ourselves. Like, I don't know.
Okay, but and there are conversations that we do have, but the thing is that first off, I also have a large YouTube channel, and there are other Black FBAs who have other large YouTube channels and talk about politics all of the time. Politics is not the only thing that we can talk about, and I'm not saying you do, but it seems like every time somebody has a conversation that's not about politics, here comes somebody talking about we need to get back to talking about politics. We got other things that need to be
Sorry to
discussed
cut you
outside of
off.
politics.
Afro Elite, thank you
Hold
for having
on,
me on
hold
the
on,
panel.
man,
And
hold on, man. We can talk about that now. The thing about the situation with Donald Trump and the DOJ, I'm gonna have to look into that. If I get, okay, he left. The situation with that, we're gonna have to look into that. But I mean, from what you've told me, it's not like the DOJ is doing anything drastically new that the previous administration didn't do. They weren't championing our civil rights like that either. But you know what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to say Trump's DOJ ain't shady, because it is. It is. But you know what I'm saying. Let's not act like we ain't been there before. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay, can I say something to that, please?
Hold on. We got to get to Zoe. Zoe's been waiting patiently.
Okay.
How doing? Just for clarification, I'm half Haitian and half Black American,
Okay.
and I'm from Florida. I think y'all asked that, but I don't know. But so to the topic, FBA is in a group. I mean, I've never really looked at it as a group until I heard people calling it a group, and then that's when I was like, maybe it's a lineage in a group. I don't know how people feel about it being called a group, but I also see that it says calling it a group is kind of like reducing the lineage. So if that's how it's being received, then I don't look at it as a group. Just foundational Black American, how it's always explained to me when I first found out about it was more in alignment with a lineage or ethnicity. So I just never looked at it that way, me personally. But I think some people might look at it as a group because, like, I don't know how many lineages like have like certain websites or domains that are associated with them. And I know some people, when they're first coming into like knowledge about FBA, they like go ahead and they look it up and like a website pops up. So that's why they might mistake it as being like an organization or something, because I don't know how many other ethnicities has like domains is what I'm saying. So that's why they might be like, oh, is this an organization? And they've probably never heard of it before. But I also, before me hearing of FBA, I heard of like ADOS. And that it was explained that wasn't a group either. So I kind of knew that FBA quite naturally wasn't a group as well. So I don't. So yeah, that's all I have to say to the particular topic. I had some other stuff to say to what people were saying. I was just trying to wait my turn.
I mean, the website can be have like that FBA website or whatever the case is. These are just information pages for the most part. You know what I'm saying? And that's not really anything new. You know what I'm saying? America has different websites and stuff like that. Doesn't make it that. But yeah, FBA is a lineage. You know what I'm saying? It is a lineage. Even when you go to the website, what does the website say? The website says it's a lineage. It's just
That's what I'm saying.
information about the lineage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, even if you actually read, a lot of people probably don't actually read the website, but if you read it, it's clear about it not being a group. But my point was that, like, I understand it being like an information center, but my point was, imagine if you had just found out about this thing and you just search it up, I can understand why somebody might think it's an organization. Me personally, I think I'm smarter than that, but if this is your first time coming across it, then otherwise, some people do, I think, use it or say that it's a group to delegitimize, I think, the identity. And I think that because maybe they don't hear the immediate Black Americans around them identifying as FBA, they receive it as it being like more of a group thing, if that makes sense. As opposed to like, okay, this is something that regardless of if Black Americans all accept it as a title, this is something that still describes Black Americans, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I mean, a lot of it is more the latter of what you said. A lot of it, people do understand it's not a group. people are really just acting obtuse and gaslighting and acting like it is a group, so they don't acknowledge the accountability that they need to take. Okay, as far as their participation of undermining the lineage, because they don't want to acknowledge the participation or and take accountability of the participation of undermining the lineage. They'll frame FBA as a group that just don't like immigrants, and then anybody who says anything about accountability, they'll be all like, oh, well, that's FBA, and FBA is a group, so it's not true. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's just like that's like a easy out rather
Yes,
than
yeah,
having
yeah.
like I think more intensive conversations. But I was going to ask this question to people that do identify as FBA amongst like Black Americans. I don't mean Black Americans like how people like kind of bastardize the term and kind of throw everybody as Black and American, but like the truest definition of the term.
Mhm.
Like, do y'all have a problem with people that identify as other ethnic identifiers for Black Americans, such as like American descendants of slaves or Black Americans or African Americans? Do y'all think those terms should be done away with? How do y'all feel about that? Do y'all think they should all kind of coexist in tandem? Like, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, there are some things that I don't think that, because I can speak for myself. I'm not like the leader or general or something of the lineage, so I'm gonna speak for myself and then what I hear a lot of people say. There are some terms that can coexist in tandem. Like, for instance, people say Black American, people say freedman, and these are terms that even I use interchangeably sometimes. But when people say things like African American, a lot of people prefer to, even though there are some who use it, but most prefer to, or Sulan, people say that, I've heard. But with African American, a lot of people say that needs to be retired because of its ambiguity of who it belongs to and who can claim to be an African American. So a lot of people have collectively said, okay, well, terms that are ambiguous and terms that other people can, lump themselves into, we need to retire those terms. Now, there might be multiple terms where people can, that we can use interchangeably, that's specifying our lineage, and it is what it is. That is just your prerogative at that point. I don't think a lot of people have issue. I hear people say, yeah, freedmen, yeah, FBA, yeah, Black American, yeah, on TikTok, Sulan was a thing on TikTok, or is a thing on TikTok. So, okay, cool. You know, you know what I'm saying? But as long as it's specific and the verbiage is specific about our lineage. Now, when it comes to ADOS, and I got a YouTube channel, I still have people who say ADOS or whatever the case is. The thing is that ADOS has been formed, and the person who coined the term ADOS, Yvette Carnell, and I know because me and her got into it one time. ADOS, and this is the leader because there was different chapters and stuff like that. Really goes, and they kind of have been like a political organization, even according to Yvette Carnell, that it's a political organization. So there's a lot of people who say, no, it's not an organization, but it is an organization. And Yvette is saying one thing and Tone is saying one thing, but somebody else is saying another thing. So it's a lot of kind of like, it's a lot to that, which is why we are like, with the ADOS thing, it's a red flag going on over there. So even though there are some people who use it for whatever thing, but it's not really like that. Plus, American descendant of slaves can also be a little bit vague. Because when you say somebody is an American descendant of slaves, then a lot of people can be all like, well, technically, I'm an American and I'm also a descendant of slaves, even though I'm from Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Or even though I'm from the Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? So there's that term is not really as foolproof as it really needs to be. You know what I'm saying? So there's some people find that term to be problematic for a couple of reasons.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think as it pertains to ethnicities, I think if you can be more specific, that's always best. Like in general,
Mm-hmm.
And I think I think that it's best for every group of people to have the autonomy to be able to decide what they want to be called. So I don't have a problem with none of it, like me genuinely, but I do understand like what you just said that it's kind of ambiguous because then you have white people that be like, well, I have enslaved ancestors, so there, yeah, I get why
Yeah,
a whole bunch
yeah,
of
you can
different
have
people
that too, and
can
you know what
fall
I'm
into
saying.
those
It's not
different
well.
those different nomenclatures.
Hmm.
The next thing, well, let me know if I'm talking too long because I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you get one thing, then we're gonna get to Blinky, and then we're gonna wrap things up.
Okay, yeah. So, uh, I guess what is the what is FBA's like primary goal in the conversations with Black immigrants? Because I think when I hear some of them sometimes, whether it's Tariq on his panels, you know, speaking with Black immigrants or Black foreigners,
Hmm.
or in different conversations with people that are FBA, sometimes it seems it's just like social commentary. It doesn't really seem productive. Other times it seems more productive.
Hmm.
And I don't have a problem with people just having conversations socially. If that's what it is, it's what it is. But I think that also FBAs, I've become aware that there's also like agenda items that they want, not just socially to be recognized, socially and politically to be recognized and understood as a distinctive ethnic group and a unique ethnic group within America. But there's also things, redress, uh,
Reparations.
reparations, whatever it is, right?
Hmm.
To follow that. And I think that a lot of the times it's very like Black immigrant conversation heavy and not the latter. And I understand why, because honestly a lot of Black immigrants can be inflammatory, but I also think that that's an attempt to like really move the political organizing off of its pivot, if I'm just being honest.
The
And I
political
think
organizing for
amongst like foundational Black Americans, like they will incite certain conversations or be inflammatory to like not have conversations that I think are rooted around, like I said, redress or whatever amongst the FBAs happening,
okay.
and take away from that. And I know y'all talked about earlier that like certain Black immigrants can be used as like tools of white supremacy. That to me that would be the clearest
Hmm.
usage, like as opposed to conversations. Well, not I'm not going to say even as opposed, because I think both are happening, right?
Hmm.
But the ones that are being highlighted and the ones that are being kind of like given the most spotlight typically are the ones that centered around like the delineation part, which is important, but there's equally important parts, if you understand what I'm saying, that are not equally as highlighted. And I think that, yeah.
Okay, I think I get what you're saying. But you have to understand that FBA is a lineage. It is a lineage, and you got what I think 43 million FBAs in America. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us, when you ask, well, what is the stance? You know what I'm saying? That's you know what it's difficult to say because I have a certain agenda. I have a certain goal. BX has a certain goal. Halo has a certain goal, but then you might have Michael who got a different goal. Steve and Tiffany and Nicole, then they might have a different goal or a different agenda, even though they're FBA. So it's not like an organization where we read a handbook and say, okay, well, this is the goal or this is the agenda. You know, some people are about reparations and then some people are about, something else. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as the conversations that we host here, and I can only speak on what we host here as a part of the lineage, but the conversations that we host here is what we're doing is we're bringing awareness to problematic behaviors that we are noticing and patterns that we're noticing from foreigners, whether they're Hispanic, because we were just hosting lives some months ago about the Hispanic immigrants. But we really host lives in advocacy of the lineage, and we host lives bringing awareness to issues that are coming into our lineage. Okay, whether that's things as far as music, politics, for culture, all of these things. We were just talking about what's the name? Mexican OT. I was about to say Fat Joe. Mexican OT and what he was doing and other Hispanics and things like that. So we also talk about the issues that we're facing with the diaspora as well too. And the guides to really make more people on code, because I believe, and I'm sure a lot of people who are a part of these lives believe, that black empowerment should fuel people's economic, social, and political decisions. Black empowerment should be the basis of black people's economic, political, and social decisions. All right. But we're realizing is that when it comes to a lot of immigrants, black empowerment is not that. So they're off code in many ways. And when we talk, when we raise awareness to the issue of that, it, benefits by making people more on code. So that's why we have these conversations. All right. Now, some other people might have conversations for maybe another reason. There are certain people, I know you say it's kind of immigrant focused, but there are certain FBAs who only talk about politics. And they talk about Donald Trump, or they talk about the
Yeah, that's true.
Democrats or
That's how
whatever.
I actually got my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah.
that's how I
So,
got informed about FBA at first. Were just the people actually talking about politics.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's a lot of people who now over here, my platform, I like to be diverse. I like to talk about, politics sometimes, cultural issues sometimes, whether that's music or whether that's immigration or whether that's relation. We had a couple live streams about interracial relationships. So I like to talk about cultural things sometimes, and then I also talk about political things sometimes too. There are some people who talk about political things exclusively, and that's their niche, that's their talking point, that's their platform. And then there are certain people who talk about cultural things exclusively. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
So, it's a lineage of people, and people have different perspectives and agendas and things like that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Hmm.
I know you said one last question. Can I just add one more quick one? This is quick.
Brother, all right,
My
come on.
bad, my bad. So, do you think that the black foreigners or black immigrants that are, I guess I don't know if you would say in bed with white supremacy, I'm just use that
Mhm.
for the lack of better terms, are a bigger threat to FBAs than I guess the FBAs that are in bed with white supremacy? Or do you think that they are of equal threat? Like, how do you view that? Do you think that one is more imperative to deal with than the other? Like, do you think that they're of equal importance to address at the same time? Like, what's your views about that?
Well, yeah, pretty much anybody who is a collaborator with white supremacy is an issue that needs to be addressed and needs to be called out. Any and everybody. I did a live stream on my YouTube channel because you do have foreign collaborators and then you do have domestic collaborators. So any and everybody who is a collaborator against black empowerment, it needs to be addressed. The thing is that, and I know probably where this is going to go. Why does it seem like there's a heavy focus on foreign collaborators? The reason why is because those collaborators seem to have been ignored the longest. Okay. And those collaborators seem to have gone dismissed. Okay. And this is not even as they do more or less damage, because that can be looked at differently. But the thing is that the damage is a little bit different because these foreign collaborators work kind of like as a buffer class, where a domestic collaborator, and I want to say the COO, but I can't say that here. A domestic collaborator can't really be a buffer class, but a foreign collaborator, like for instance, Brian Donalds and all of these things, they work, and the damage they do can be a little bit worse, because not only do they work against our lineage, but they also work to aid their own group of people and put them ahead of our lineage. So that's why when it comes to the Congressional Black Caucus, you'll see them signing checks when it comes to immigrant rights and immigrant benefits and signing legislation that benefits immigrants. But when it comes to reparations, like in California, they'll let those bills die and never see the light of day. So the damage that the foreign collaborators can do can is bad, is ignored, and at times, especially when it comes to policy, politics can be worse.
Okay, yeah, that actually. I never thought about it like that,
Hmm.
like it being kind of ignored for a long time, because it is really just now that like this veil has been kind of like ignored for a long time, because it is really just now that like this veil has been kind of like, well, not just, but you get what I'm saying, more modernly, the veil has kind of been lifted up, and people are looking into and how Black immigrants have like kind of operated in relation to Black Americans. A lot of sense, actually.
All right. Yep. Thank you. Glad we were able to answer your questions. Glad we were able to get that out. That was pretty good. Thank you. Thank you. Let's get to Blinky.
Hi, I'm Binky. I'm a
Binky.
Black
Okay.
American. Yes, it's okay.
I don't
I'm a
know what
Black
I'm
American.
not seeing. I swear I saw an L. I
Mm-mm.
swear I saw an L.
No L
Binky.
there.
Okay. I'm
But
tripping. All right.
I'm a Black American. I'm from Washington D.C.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have much to say because so much was already said. But I do want to say that because I it's just so much confusion on being Black, I guess. And I just want to say that everybody have to keep in mind that America created race. So the term Black was really created specifically for us. But melanated people around the world adopted the term. I mean, because America and Black Americans are so popular, they adopted the term of being Black. So I think that's where the confusion coming in. Then, the box that checks to say Black or African American, I mean, it really doesn't give them much choice but to check that box. I know it was like purposely done. To me, it was purposely done. And I think that's what the big confusion came from, like who's really considered Black, because in their head, we're all Black because we're melanated. And I just want to say that Black Americans, we don't have like people or family members or ancestors outside of United States of America. Like our grandparents or grandparents are all from here. We say most likely we're saying that we're from South Carolina, Maryland, down south. We are claiming a state. We don't have anybody to claim like, oh, we're from Africa or Jamaica or anything like that. Like that's what make us different. We don't have anybody other than them saying that we are from Africa.
What happened?
You would be so
I got a phone
confused.
call.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, I just wanted to be clear about that. Like, because people are very confused about what makes us so different or why we want to be classified as something different. I don't really think it's that big of a thing because our names been renamed so many times throughout this country. It's just another rebirth because everybody get to claim it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
It's just we need something that specifies our lineage. What we have realized is that terms like African American, and to a degree, some people make the argument that Black American even, but terms like African American are ambiguous. You got Mam Donnie, who's an Indian who was born in Africa, who classifies himself as African American. Myron, who's from Sudan, I'm sorry, who's from Sudan, classifies as African American. People have said Elon Musk is an African American. So the thing is that it's always been that way, but now we're really coming to the realization that it's too damn vague. So we just need something more specific, and there's nothing wrong with that. We've been reclassified. People said Obama is an African American. People said Kamala was an African American. So okay, because when you hear that, we don't want our lineage up for anybody to claim. Everybody can't claim to be a part of our lineage and ethnicity. So now we just need something that's a little bit more specific, and that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. Why the fact that this bothers people just showcases that people want us to be this vague, ambiguous thing that they can identify at their leisure.
I definitely agree. And it's only because we did let it go for so long without stopping, like being specific of who we are. Because we didn't, I mean, I personally didn't really, I didn't Or well, technically, just this year, I've been actually hearing foreigners say they're black because at first they really never claimed to be black. They always said where they was from. So I guess that's why we are stopping the confusion now. And I do want to say most of these immigrants has actually never met a black American in like personally had a conversation with a black American in real life. Because I'm from Washington D.C. It's very diverse here, but everybody kind of sticks to themselves. All the groups stay to themselves. We don't go to school together. We don't go to church together. Like the neighborhoods, even if they live in our neighborhood, they don't intertwine with us. So most of them never even actually had a conversation. So a lot of stuff they even say is like from TV, like they seen it on or the social media or the bad videos that pop up of us. That's all they. That's where they get who they think we are from. They never even actually had a conversation. So it's like I personally think what they saying really don't count because they really don't even know us. Like they say a lot of stuff, but most of it is like propaganda that they learn from either their country or social media or the media itself.
All right. I mean, yeah. All right. Yep. A lot of them, yeah, they just be BSing, and they really don't know anything. To be honest, they don't even really. A lot of them really don't even know their history that well. But we ain't even gonna get into that. We ain't even got to get into that tonight. Let's get to Deborah.
Oh, thank you for saying my name correctly. Yeah, finally, and I think I have to commend you all. It's warming my heart that the young ones that are coming after us, understand how important this is. That we do delineate, that we do separate ourselves. I was born, and I was old enough to know I never called myself an African American. And most of my family, we never called ourselves that. That's something that Jesse Jackson gave us, and everybody else jumped on board. They never asked us, did we want to be, called by that particular name? And I like how it's FBA. It's not an organization. It's not a group. Those are things that you can join. But see, when you say lineages, there's an exclusivity to that, right? It's exclusive. They can't just come into it. And that's what really rattles their cage. And I'm glad you talked about the Black Caucus because I'm a native Californian. And you see how they did us. See, first of all, before we start voting for these people, even on the national level, we need to know, are you an FBA? How are you going to vote on my issues if you're not an FBA? And you see, they let the bills die. You see what they did? They vote against. No, you don't have the same sentiment for that bill as I would because we do not share a common history.
Yep.
We do not share a common history. And now with the deportations and all that, so that, yeah, they're cosplaying. They want to be us without our pain. They want to, and even I was born in California, born and raised in the Bay Area. And, and even the East Indians, right? How they treat us like as if we're nomads in my own land. We've been here, and I'm glad that you're educating people. Everybody didn't come over on the ships. Some of us have always been here. But see, they don't want to educate that portion because sometimes when we say foundational, that blows their minds. They can't even wrap their mind around the fact that we were here, but all they have to do is look at some of the illustrations from the conquistadors from the late 1400s, and it looks like you, my brother. It looks like us. And they talk about the color of the people, the stance of the people. They know what's true, and there's two bands. There's the Asiatic that came over the Bering Straits, and I always say, then there's uses that have always been here. But the problem is they don't want to pay us for our land. They don't want us to have the land rights, and they don't want to adhere to the treaties, which they haven't really taken care of any of the treaties, even with the Asiatic ones, right? And they don't want to give us that money. That's what it all boils down to, I think, with a lot of the other Africans. And they are truly, Elon Musk, if he was born in Africa, he's more African American than I am. So let them have African American, but in the what I do as a profession, what they have for us is African American. They don't have any other block to check. Whereas Hispanics, you can say you're Hispanic from Mexico, you're Hispanic from other places. We need our things to be broken down like that. So I can say, yes, I'm an FBA. I'm like no other person else in the world, right? We have to cherish our history. And like I said, I commend you all. And I'm not going to be alone because everyone has said everything that I wanted to say until the young lady, she got off. We can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yeah.
And this administration is only going to be there for a while. But what it has taught us is we got to come off that plantation. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What we did to Target. Our money talks. And we said now, can you imagine if we just didn't shop for Thanksgiving and Christmas? By January, they'd be begging us. Begging us. What do we want? And we have to understand that we're in it for the long haul, not for the intermediate and the short term gain, right? And is it going to be painful? Yes, it is. But we owe it to we're going to be someone's ancestors. We owe it to our lineage that at some point they can say, my people stood up and they made a stance and they drew the line right here in the sand. And what a privilege it is for us to say that will be us, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all. And I just want to commend you again. I'm so glad that I found your page, because I was on a page earlier today, and I'm just so sick of these people talking about bring receipts. Why do I have to prove anything to you? What is that about? I got to prove this and prove that. Why? My grandmother said it. My great grandmother said that's proof enough for me, and I land my plane. But you guys keep doing. You're doing an awesome. And the young lady up there, was it BX? Girl, get 'em. Get them, get them, get them. And peace
Thank
and
you.
blessings to you all. Hold the line, because if we
Peace and
give up
blessings.
now, then all the other struggles are for naught, right?
Yeah.
All right,
You're right.
blessings. Thank you for letting me speak. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. That's yeah, that's good. That's a good way to close things off. Thank you.
Yes, I am. I love you too, say Franny. Afro, I think I'm done here. I'm tired. My eyes are
Me
closing.
too. I'm
Um,
mispronouncing names. I'm like Blinky.
and
Ain't no
yeah,
hell. I feel so old. I'm all like, what's the name? I can't read it. Let me get my glasses. Oh, that means I need to
No,
and
stop.
you did an excellent job.
Thank you.
You did an excellent job, because some of these platforms I go on, it's like, how can you actually fight for us when you don't know what you're talking about? Not to be rude, but if you're gonna bring up the thing, you're
right.
gonna debate, right? And I like that there was no character assassination. If you have to assassinate my character, you've already lost the debate. Is that not correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
awesome, awesome, you guys. I'm gonna have to check in with you on another day, but I gotta have this written down. But yeah, like I said, peace and blessings.
Peace
Okay.
and
Thank you.
blessings.
Peace and
And I'm
blessings.
telling Miss Nisi, you didn't. Peace and blessings. You didn't have your glasses tonight. I'm telling you,
Oh,
Afro.
don't do that. She don't know. When I put this on for the culture, she don't know I don't have my glasses. Oh, she gonna get on me. Oh Lord, here we go.
She is. She is. And so, Bob Bowie, see what happens when you make your own schedule. You can, and you have more than one device. You can afford more than one Mac Pro AirBook or whatever it's called. You could be online all day. Part of this is part of my job, and it's the way I give back to my community, helping make sure their pages run smoothly so that we can have these conversations. And you should be grateful that I'm not blocking people tonight. People will tell you, creators will tell you, I be having like 200 people blocked. Why? Because for one Bob Bowie, I get them out of here, I got 5 more to deal with. And I was being very nice tonight. So don't worry about my job. I don't get food stamps. I don't get Section 8. I'm struggling over here, but I ain't at you for a dime. See how that work? Because I got a family that loves me, so I eat every night. Yes, Afro, I'll leave it there. It was a great live. I think they kind of centered it off of us not really talking about how it is in a group. I think that sometimes they're being funny when they say, what is FBA anyway? It's not a hard concept to understand. Sometimes I don't mind giving the education, but other times if they ask who's FBA, I'll be like, it don't pertain to you. Don't even worry about it. Because they've been on these apps too long. Every post, Afro, I
Big,
told you, every post I see has FBA in it. I started joining other lives that aren't FBA, and that's just not me. But I go to the ones who identify as African American. I sit there and I talk from my, FBA standpoint, what we're doing, and it's not meant to be hateful. Sometimes we got to cut up on these apps. You understand? But there's a time to also talk. So I've been room hopping a little bit, Afro. Just trying to get the word out there
but
that we're not against anybody, but we need them out of our way. And the
but BX,
boycotts continue, y'all.
but BX, I told you
Yeah.
way earlier that they know, man.
Yeah.
At this point, it ain't like they don't know. They know. I
Let me
promise you, they know.
let me add on to that. Notice that when there's a live, because I've been seeing, especially with the boycott and everything like that going on. Notice when there is a live that disparages FBA, people don't join the live asking what FBA is. Now there are lives all that run around all day and night that talk negatively about FBA, and people don't join those lives being all like, "What is FBA?" So when you're saying something negative about FBA, everybody knows what FBA is. But now when you're saying something positive about FBA, then people come in and act like, "Oh, I ain't never heard of no FBA. I don't know what FBA is." Now nobody know what FBA is. Okay, just find that very interesting, right? It says some comments on this live was filtered. Okay, I was just looking at the TikTok gave a notification, but just notice that. So yeah, at this point, when people come in, be all like, "I don't what FBA? What does that mean?" You trying to troll. That's what you're trying to do, and you're being disingenuous and you're wasting time because y'all know what it is. Because y'all don't ever ask the haters what it is, because y'all know when they bring it up what it is. All right. So yeah, we're not gonna do that. Not at this point. All right. Nor are we gonna allow you guys to twist us and rebrand the lineage into a group so y'all can avoid accountability. We're not gonna do that either. All right.
Ask you, Afro, when's the next time you're going live?
I'm
on TikTok, that is.
On TikTok.
Yeah.
I may do it Tuesday. I may do it Tuesday. Let's see.
Okay, no problem. As the live winds down, y'all, and we say our farewells and our good nights, hit that orange button. Make sure you complete the daily mission and give the screen a couple of taps to give your final likes for the night, please. All right, Afro, it's on you.
All right, if you guys want to make sure that you guys don't miss out on the next conversation, you guys can follow me right here on TikTok. While you're on that and doing that, you guys can go to the link in my bio and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Afro Elite on YouTube, and then the rest of my social media, which is in my bio. Okay, the links to all of that is in my bio. If you guys want to listen to the playback of this live and all of the other lives that we've had in the past, go to For the Culture on YouTube. And that way you guys get to listen to the playback of this live and then all the other lives that we do. A lot of people are loving it. It's loaded with good conversation, good information, good receipts. So you guys definitely want to do that. But make sure that you guys follow so you don't miss out on our next conversation.
Yes. Love and reparations, everybody.
Yes.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Afro.
Good night, BX.